Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another very special episode of the Three Can Play podcast. My name is Sean McCaffrey. I'm joined by two of my good friends. We've got to my left, Nick P, and to my right, Brad Crably Crab. On this episode, we're going to break down a list of the top 10 games of the decade, as well as our personal game of the year, and what we're looking forward to next year.
It's
So
going
it's going to be exciting.
to be fine. Team Canada won today this morning.
Yes, as you can tell by our
Yes.
apparel. Going to the semis for
Or
World
are we
Juniors.
being black and mourning?
Yes.
Was it an elimination game?
Yeah,
Yes.
quarterfinals.
So. I am both excited and scared for this episode.
Why?
I'm afraid of what you heathens will have put on your list.
What do
for
you
games
mean?
That
Like
deserve to be
we're
there.
all it's all our own list.
Exactly. But your opinion.
By the way, we should admit this is not one overall three can
No,
play
because
list
that would not work.
It would take forever.
Yeah.
I've already tricked Brad to the Halo list. That was a great day.
Making me not put Halo 2 at the top was a dark day.
It was great. So that's not happening again.
No.
So yeah,
We would not be able to come to a definitive top 10 list of the like decade.
Yeah.
It would just be shouting at some points.
I agree.
It'll be exciting to see what you guys put.
hmm But anyways,
Huh?
well, I was in New York because I wasn't here last episode.
Yeah.
Even though some people tried to make it seem like I was here last episode.
You were
You
totally here.
definitely
I
here.
was
You were in such a good
definitely
mood.
not
You were
here.
last
throwing some
episode.
like really hype opinions.
I was in New York, and in New York, I met a very special person that I convinced to come onto this show.
Okay.
But I don't know why he's not here yet.
Sure.
So I'm gonna get off mic for a second, go look outside.
Okay. Go for it.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
What the hell's going on?
I have some idea.
Do you want me?
It's,
Okay, I was like, I can see you still. All right, he went around the corner. Nick is currently in a different room.
He's meeting up with whoever he needs to send.
I
on
have
the
a
show.
feeling I know who it is.
Sure.
I think it's his alter ego on Discord. Or
Oh,
maybe, yeah.
okay.
I think that's what it is. But I won't spoil for chat. So what's up, Shamak?
I don't know. I'm a little tired. Not gonna lie.
You're tired?
Yeah, a little
Get
bit.
some energy, bro.
I will.
I'm
Oh.
tired too, so don't worry. Woke up early for the game. Oh man.
I went to bed at like 3 or 4. I played a game of League last
Yeah.
night. What didn't go that well? Not because of me.
Sure.
I mean, I didn't like hard carry. I didn't stomp,
You run it down?
but I didn't run it down. No, where your team runs it down. So
Yeah.
feels bad. What was I playing? I was playing Zaya, and who ran it down? Dude, everyone.
Yeah.
It's like 9, 11, 10 top laner. The jungler's like 6, 11. The mid laner's like 9, and I'm the only one who's like 3 and 2. Maybe I
Everyone
just
else
play
is-
League wrong.
Yeah. You mean you don't play the same as everyone else in the elo you're in?
Yeah, I don't get it though. Maybe it's just because it's preseason.
Probably.
When do my teammates get good?
Never.
That's what I want to know.
Never. Such is the fate of playing League.
Feels bad.
He left his book here.
Touch it. Hey Nick, I have places to be. Where's your guess?
I just dipped. Well, this has been a good episode.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Today's episode is brought to you by our new sponsor.
Shut up, we don't have a sponsor. Get out of here. Don't just be spreading lies.
Sponsored by
Ourselves.
who would be a sick sponsor?
Anyone.
True.
Because you're sponsored, right?
Yeah. Sponsored by Ethan.
You said you wouldn't
Yeah,
sponsor?
no, I wouldn't sponsor the
That's
show.
rude as hell. Wow,
Oh.
our own producer won't even sponsor us.
Fair enough.
What does that say about his character?
Means he's smart.
True.
That's what it means.
Oh, I hear a door opening.
The washroom door, I think.
I think so. I think he's coming back.
Did you put?
I bet I know. Don't ask me what I put on my list.
Okay.
Dude, it was like, just to talk a little bit about making it, this was such a freaking hard list to make. For me personally. like, because there's so many games that I value very highly, and having to put it down to 10, like, they're all from different genres. So it's like I'm comparing games that
Mhm.
really can't be compared
Yeah.
except like feature to feature, right? Like you can't be like, well, this game did this better because they both do completely different things. So, oh god, holy crap!
Welcome. Sit down, sir.
Who is this stranger who's making me look underdressed?
This my mic?
I guess so.
Yeah, that's your mic.
Hi.
Who might you be?
Well, I was going Santa Claus.
Saint Nicholas.
True.
I
Welcome
had
to
a
the show,
feeling.
St. Nicholas. This is
Okay.
the Green Play
Yeah.
Podcast.
You're much better than the dude who usually sits here.
Oh,
My name's
who, Nick? Oh,
my
I
name's
met him
Tomek.
I met him in New York. And
That's
Yeah,
Brad.
He's a very jolly fellow.
You should have left him
That's
there.
Ethan.
No, well,
We talk about video games.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I play video games myself, you know.
Nice.
Do you?
Yeah, I love Death Stranding. By the way, it's
Cool.
Great
game about
game.
making deliveries, making people
True.
connect to
That
each
is
other.
right up your alley.
Yeah,
That's
it's
fair.
a very great game. My game of the year, personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Game of the decade, even.
You know, I don't get to play many games over the years because
Sure,
of
yeah.
what
I
do,
imagine
you
you're
know.
really busy.
Yeah.
Over the years, you know. But Death
I've had to
Stranding,
work extra hard because Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon's actually quite helpful. You know, they do some delivering for me sometimes.
Fair. Fair.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah, I met Nick in New York and at the Nintendo store by all places. So I like to go there shop for kids. And
Sure.
he asked if I come on the show. Like, yeah.
Can you just walk in and it's okay? There's not like a huge crowd or
You have
anything.
like security with you.
Yeah.
I wear a disguise.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like a
Gotcha.
mustache.
Obviously,
Like
yeah.
the nose, mustache, and glasses thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Smart.
Pretty much. But he spotted me out because like Nick's had that kind of connection.
It's true.
Yeah, Nick has always had an eye for
He's always been good at finding
old
Waldo in
men.
a crowd.
bears. Yeah, he's always been into that kind of
I
thing.
guess so.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, I was there. I got gifts for all of you.
You
Oh,
son of
Yes,
a-
I did.
So you just met us and you're already giving us stuff?
I am Santa Claus.
Such
Yeah,
a generous
what a good
And
friend.
I deemed you guys to all be nice people this year. So got you all
I guess you don't
gifts.
see everything.
I guess I don't know where Nick is. Like he was supposed to be here, but this is for him. I
You got
him-
Nick a gift?
Yeah. I mean, it's
Damn.
only fair. I got all of you gifts,
That's
right?
true,
So I
that's
got him
true.
this Evolution bottle. I don't know.
May I- may I
you can
see
enjoy
that?
it later.
I see it.
Yeah, you
Show it
can
off.
see it.
Show it off to
That's dope.
the camera.
I don't think the camera can see from here, but
For-
it's listing all
for
of the
Ethan.
evolutions.
If you want to hand that to him, Shamik. Legend of Zelda Heart Lamp. If you want to toss that to Ethan, Shamik. That one's for you, Ethan. For Shamik, this one's special because Nick told me that you have trouble with time sometimes, so he said an alarm clock would be great for you.
Yo,
Are you serious right
this
now?
guy got no original Game Boy
So, yeah,
alarm
I
clock.
got
Oh
that alarm
my
clock.
god.
And then, you asked for a Grookey, but they were sold out, and the elves are already working overtime, so open mug suffices. If you want to open it up, you can, but
Pokemon Center drinkware.
yeah.
You know what's so sad is they don't ship to Canada. I've been on their
Really?
website and they have a lot of cool stuff.
Well, they shipped to the North Pole,
Do they?
Yeah.
They skip over Canada.
so yeah.
Dude, that alarm clock's so dope.
So Merry belated Christmas to all of you. I don't know where Nick is.
Thank
tell
you,
him Merry
Saint
Christmas
Nick.
for me.
Yeah.
We will pass that along.
But,
Thank you, Saint Nick, aka Santa.
You know, when I wear this suit, Mrs. Claus becomes not so nice anymore. She comes on the naughty list. So gotta get back to her.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, sir.
So
Have
it was
fun
nice
with it.
meeting you all.
Good to know.
And hopefully I'll see Nick on the way out.
Yeah, he's got a
Alright.
list to talk about. So
Yeah. All right. Well, see you guys later.
Next year, you better be back.
So dope. Yeah.
Ooh. Grookey mug. Hopefully, I'm not covering it.
That is so dope.
Does it have anything inside? Anything on the bottom? On the bottom, it says Pokemon. Made in the USA, F19. It is now coming into frame.
That's so dope, though. By the way, Grookey gang. Grookey, like, there's the different starters. You got Sobble, Scorbunny, and Grookey.
Doppelgang.
Bubble
Gang.
Squad,
Oh.
Score Bunny Squad, Grookey Gang.
Oh,
All about Grookey. So dope. That is freaking awesome. What a nice guy. Nick never buys me stuff.
right. Now we'll be able to wake up on time because I have an alarm clock.
To a cool alarm clock at that.
Right. Makes official Super Mario Land alarm sounds.
That's sick.
Uh,
You have to be trying that out.
yep. Product is not a toy.
Go playing around, Sean. Like for official business. Official business.
No batteries included. Can throw in some batteries?
No.
Nick, you missed him.
Nick, you just missed him.
Yeah. Where were you?
I was out there looking for my guest, but I guess he already came.
Oh yeah, he came.
Yeah, he was really nice. He brought me. Look what he brought me.
On alarm clock?
Yeah.
Very nice.
Downtime.
You got
Yeah, like-
Ethan a mug. You got me a
I
mug.
think it's a light.
Or is it a light? Oh, it is a light. Okay. Sorry. I didn't actually get to see it,
And
so.
I guess that's mine.
No, that's mine too.
Rest in peace are all your ears.
Oh, he said that was for me too.
I doubt that.
Well, you weren't here to listen.
I did get him on the show.
Yeah, but you weren't here to.
I'm just gonna keep that for myself.
Wow.
Yeah, like the guy only parks on rooftops or something, so like I have to go outside and try to find him. It's cold out there, man.
Fair enough.
He's so much cooler than you because he gets us stuff.
Yeah. You never give me anything.
Yeah.
Wow. It's fucking rude.
He also said that Death Stranding was his game of the year.
Oh, I believe him because I'm making deliveries.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah. So
Hopefully he's back next year.
I hope he's back every
he's,
day.
He's hard to get, that guy. Like
enough.
I want him on every episode with more gifts.
just to get him on for like the few minutes now, I guess, like it was tough.
yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It was a good guess, though.
Busy.
Okay.
Best we've had.
All right. Awesome.
Only guess we've had.
Exactly. Only guest is best guest.
Anyways,
Tom-
wish you,
Move out in this list.
yeah.
Talk about
How
this.
about did you talk about what you were playing while I
Oh,
was
right.
trying
Okay.
looking for him? I guess.
No,
Or
we
sure?
just kind of talked about like stuff.
Oh, okay.
Should we talk about what we've been playing now?
Well, I want to mention that I finally beat Death Stranding.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
It is a really good game. It's not it's it's funny. All the reviews just saying, "Oh, the game's trash." No, the game's a masterpiece. I'm like, no, it's in the middle. It's like a solid like 7.5 out of 10. The story is great.
What's the
Well-
weakest part of the game? The gameplay or the story?
The gameplay.
Or both?
The gameplay is the biggest part of the game. Like the gameplay is great, is final, it's great, but there's too much time in between actual story beats and gameplay. Like you start the game off and it's a couple hours of like you it being told like what the world is, what story, like the kind of
Mhm.
being the story,
Yeah.
and then nothing for several hours. A little bit, nothing, a little bit, and then nothing, and then the last like 2 hours of the game is just dumped on you. I wish it was
Here's a movie to wrap it up.
yeah, I wish it was more spread out over the course of the game. Like it slowly leaked more information over time to you, but like it doesn't really do that. Kind of like it tells you things while telling you things. Like they'll say something but not say something. Kind of.
Yeah.
I feel you. Yeah.
So like that was my only complaint. Like, but once it actually like told the story, I'm like, okay, this is actually good. Like they needed to tell more story over the course of the entire game instead of like in big chunks.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Kind of keep it like a consistent.
Still, it's like, if you're looking for something that's a little different, I would recommend it.
Okay.
And then I also started playing Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Dude, the game is so good. Like if
It looks
the best way
so
the
fucking
best way
good.
to describe it for like people like looking at it is like if you like Dark Souls or like Metroid, it's like the baby of both of those because like the combat's kind of Dark Souls light, whereas like it's the game punishes you for missing like parries and like blocks and attacks, but not to the severe degree that Dark Souls does. In terms of exploration, like you know how Metroid Prime and Metroid, those games, like you open up a hologram map and shows you the entire like level you're on.
Yeah.
This does the exact same thing. There's like doorways and passageways you can't access to get a certain ability. Like in the beginning of the game, you can't wall run, but once you explore a little more, get the wall run ability, you can then go back to the main area and progress to the story.
Yeah. So that's a lot like Metroid.
So it's like Metroid, and like you go back to other planets, and like eventually, like you can get to more areas as you get more abilities, kind of stuff like that.
That's pretty cool.
So it's very Metroid-esque in terms of exploration.
What
and
color?
the freaking double saber.
What color did you make your lightsaber?
I'm not gonna spoil it because it's actually a narrative, like a story
Oh.
beat.
Okay.
In the beginning, you can choose between green or blue, but there's a point in the game where, because the entire game you can customize your lightsaber, and like the entire game, I was getting different hilts, different styles and stuff. But I never got different colors for my lightsaber. I was only stuck with blue or green, and I'm like, okay, this is weird. Why can't I choose more colors? I got to a certain point in the game, like, I get it.
Sure.
I get it.
Okay.
So I'm
Fair
not gonna spoil that because I think it's a really cool moment in the game.
Why'd you choose blue or green?
In the beginning, it starts you off with blue, but I went to green for a bit. So yeah,
Both equally good.
Blue's better.
it's
The,
a
the
really-
greatest Jedi ever uses blue.
Who's the greatest Jedi ever?
Anakin Skywalker.
Nope.
Luke Skywalker.
Obi-Wan.
Actually, he's green. Actually, Luke's
yeah,
green.
Luke uses
Hey,
green.
Owen McGregor's making an Obi-Wan thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
miniseries.
excited.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
it's-
can't wait to
it's-
try Fallen
It's
Order.
a phenomenal game. Like
It looks so
It
good.
is the best single player Star Wars game probably since the early 2000s.
Since like
It wouldn't
it's
be-
the Old Republic or for
Yeah,
like
and-
first Force Unleashed.
Force Unleashed is good, but not like this good.
So this is better than the original Force Unleashed.
Yeah, 100%.
Damn.
Like Cal Kestis is a great character, and the characters around him are great too. Like BD1 is so adorable. Like, well, I don't know what's about the Star Wars universes, but like they always get the droids right.
Yeah,
no
they
matter
nail
what.
the
Yeah,
droids.
the
The
droids
droids
are
are-
the best.
Every time.
There's never like a bad droid.
No, I agree.
Yeah. So except R4 who blows up in the beginning of New Hope. The red
yeah.
droid.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just like explodes.
Also, Obi-Wan's astromech gets wrecked too.
Yeah. So yeah, that's I am near the end of Fallen Order. I'm probably gonna beat that today after this show.
Nice.
I'll give you my full rating once then, but it won't be on any of my game of the year lists.
Considering you're not done, that's understandable.
Well, even if it wasn't done, I'd still put it on my list, but just to honor it,
Yeah.
I'll consider it game of the year in between now and then. I don't know, but it's a good game. It's a great game.
Yeah, I can't wait to get my hands on it. Just it's been a long time since I've personally played like a story-driven stories. I mean, you like Battlefront 2 had a story,
Wasn't
and it was pretty good. I will say it was pretty good. But like,
it was very easy to tell what's gonna happen.
yeah, this is like the first like ground up like
Yeah.
full experience. So
It's really good.
yeah, I'm stoked to try it out.
What was that game I asked you if you played? Do you remember the name of it? That Star Wars game?
It's about pod racing
No.
or something. It's
Jedi Power Battles.
that
Never even heard of that.
It was
You
a
guys ever
single-player
played
game.
Shadows of the Empire
I think so, maybe.
64 game?
Wait,
Sick.
maybe.
LucasArts
probably
used to pump out those games like
Yeah,
no
they
tomorrow.
really
Star
did.
Wars games were coming out like weekly.
Yeah.
Like the Jedi Knight games are great too.
Mm-hmm.
Never
Like the
played
Kyle Katarn and
those.
then the Jedi Knight Academy, that was phenomenal. That was a great game.
Best
I
saber
missed out
fighting.
on a lot of Star Wars games.
There's some good ones.
I
You ever play the
played-
pod racing one? That's what you had.
I
to
played
play
the pod racing one on the 64.
one. Sure, that counts.
Yeah.
I hope they remake KOTOR. 'Cause that'd be
Like
great.
a modern KOTOR.
Yeah.
that would be really good.
Hey, good way for BioWare to gain good public favor again
I
after.
don't know, but hopefully,
few meh.
EA was never into remasters and remakes.
but they've been changing their
hopefully
tune on
they-
that.
because they see how much money they make.
There's a lot of money, and even some of these remakes that are coming out aren't just like
Exact
here's
one to
HD.
one.
Like
yeah.
look at Resident Evil 2.
Yeah, it's just
They
like
remade the game, not just like HD. Like they redesigned fundamentally.
Yeah,
the
I
game. Look
would
at
wa-
Final Fantasy 7. Look how different that's like.
It's coming out soon.
Yeah,
I would
so,
want. Well, part one's coming out too,
Yeah,
not the
yeah,
whole
I'm
game.
excited.
but there's definitely room to innovate as well as remake.
Yeah.
You know.
I would want KOTOR to come out in like a Dragon Age Origin style type of combat. Or
Never
closer,
played that.
closer
so-
to Inquisition, maybe. Depends.
I have to finish DAO. I actually miss the characters. I miss my dwarf that I made, and I miss the.
I know it's great when you miss great games so you don't beat them.
I'll get to it eventually.
Anyways,
Can I talk about what I've been playing?
oh, you want to talk about? Yeah.
Yeah, so I play some Halo Reach.
Okay.
Because my brother brought his laptop, and sometimes we share a Steam account, so we'll he bought MCC or Reach or something.
Yeah. Well, you can buy either the whole package.
He
or
bought
Reach, but
something.
Yeah.
So I was playing some Reach. I still got it. I was playing some multiplayer. I'm better now at Reach than I was when Reach came out.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
yeah, that's good to know.
Reach is still a great game.
Oh yeah.
It's better than some of the Call of Duties that have come out in the past years.
I will say it's
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
boring. The maps are kind of bland. The gunplay in the 4v4 competitive is kind of bland.
Okay, so I actually have a question for you.
Yeah.
So as somebody who played quite a bit of Halo 5, And Halo 5 compared to even 4, but really compared to like Reach 3 and 2
Mm-hmm.
is a lot faster, a lot more movement, just a lot more going on
Mhm.
in the battle to battle. After playing that and coming back to Reach,
Yeah.
do you feel like Reach is too slow? It doesn't have it, or do you?
No, it's not.
'Cause-
It's too slow.
I kind of enjoyed going back to the more simplicity of like
Sure.
Reach's combat, and not to say that it's like easy, but just more like you got to outshoot somebody, outstrafe, like less like
Yeah.
dive, slide, jump, clamber. And I'm not saying that like necessarily one's better than the other, but it was nice to kind of go back to a much more like grounded Halo experience.
Sure.
Personally,
Uh.
Because it's a better Halo experience.
So what was your question?
like, did you find
It too slow?
too slow, or did you enjoy going back to that nice?
No, it's a different kind of game. It's not
Yeah.
too slow. It's just a different game. I will say it's a lot easier than Halo 5
Yeah,
because you don't have to think about anything really. You just
more
shoot
just
people.
gotta have a good shot.
Yeah. That's it. It's a fun game. I'm playing it. I played some big team. I played some SWAT. I played pretty much all the game modes. Haven't played campaign yet. That I plan to do eventually.
Yeah.
Mostly I've been playing the MLG Slayer because I'm all about that.
MLG's title update, right?
Yeah, TU.
Yeah.
This has been fun, except the maps are boring, and it gets kind of boring after a while. Just shooting people. I wish the game was. I don't know. I feel like it's too shallow.
Okay.
Going back, I don't know. I wish there was more to it because in Reach it's different than 3 and even different than 4. It's so easy to like take control of a map. You just got to kill like 2 people, and the maps are small and competitive, and you just walk over to their spawn and you start spawn killing them, and then you just do that on repeat, and that's how competitive Halo Reach works.
Yeah.
There's not a wrestle of there's not like a battle for control of the map really. It's kind of like how League is nowadays, where it's just kind of like you kill someone, you get the objective immediately. There's no, I don't know, like there's no battle of attrition. That's how I feel about it.
Fair.
So yeah, I'm playing that.
If you want attrition, start playing Civilization games.
True. I should. I've heard they're good.
Never played one.
Yeah, that's what I'm playing.
Nice. I picked up a indie game probably about a month ago after the hype. So when Smash announced when they released Terry Bogard, they also released like Mii outfits,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the ones they released was either I think it's Sans or Sons from Undertale, and I don't know. I think I was living under a rock, but I didn't know what Undertale was.
It's this game where this dude types at you or something, and there's like a skull. That's all I know about Undertale.
So it's like first of all, made by one person, which blows me away, Toby Fox. But it's like an RPG story-driven puzzle game. But like you look everywhere, like people are pumping out their games of the decades lists, like all over a lot of like writers and stuff on websites. And a lot of people put Undertale as like one of the top games they've played. So I guess I was just under a rock and wasn't around when the hype was there. But I picked it up, and you're basically, there was a world that had humans and monsters in it, and they ended up getting into a giant battle, and the humans like sealed the monsters in the underground, and they can't come back to like the planet, I guess Earth or whatever, where they lived. The monsters are sealed away, and the monsters like hate the humans for it. And you play as this main character who
is
trips.
half monster, half human.
No, you're a human. You trip and fall into the monster world,
Ooh.
and you then have to find your way out. And you can either do it through violence or through non-violence, and you get to choose your path. And what it essentially is you go through and you meet different characters along the way who will test you in both puzzles and combat. But the really cool thing about this game is you can literally never fight a single thing. You can do what is called a true pacifist,
Sure.
and you can mercy everybody you see, and how you react and who you decide to either kill or save affects the story as the game goes on, and will give you different endings, different interactions with characters, etc. So there's a lot of branching paths, and this game has a lot of replayability because of that, because you can do a whole bunch of different playlists. Like
Mhm.
certain bosses you won't fight if you don't play the game a certain way, so that you can go back, play differently to get those encounters. On top of bosses, there's also random encounters. And the cool thing about it is every time you get into a fight, you'll have an option. You can either fight, which is do an attack, and this like line will come across the screen with like vulnerable spots on it. It's all done in like text boxes, even the combat. It's really cool. But you like if you're like punctual and you hit it in the center, you'll do more damage. You can act, and each character and boss will have like different actions that you can take with them. So one example was these two like, I think they were either dogs or wolves, but they were like knights, came up and they can't see, they can only sniff. And what you have to do is you have to like, one of the actions you can do is like roll around in the mud, and then you start getting dirty, and then you like brush up on them and start like rubbing like your scent, and then they start like thinking that you're a puppy, and then you give them pets, and just like, and they're like, whoa, dogs can pet other dogs? This is like a mind-blowing experience. Like and you could basically do that to the point where then they go, oh, you're just a friendly puppy as you were, and you leave. Or you can just murder them, but that affects the game.
Sure.
And you can do like all these actions, and they're all different for the characters. That'll eventually, if you complete the actions, you can click mercy and you just leave the fight, and you don't gain any experience or money, which means you can't buy any items from the shop, and your level's low. So if you decide to do combat later, you'll be at a disadvantage. But you know, for story purposes, if you want to save certain characters, it's a good idea. And if you do combat, what it is you basically will have, it'll be another text box, and you have a heart, and enemies will do attacks in this box, and it'll be either be like, you know, sweeping attacks, or it'll be like a lot of little
Like
dots or
bullet
shooting
hell?
at you, and you have to dodge everything, just moving your heart around. And there'll be different mechanics that change it. Like at one point, your heart, you have to obey the laws of gravity, so you can only hop over stuff. At one point, the heart flips upside down, and you can shoot up, kind of like Galaga or Alien Invaders style. It's just such a charming game with really cool characters, very, very, very funny and humorous interactions with these characters. The writing is genius. Music is amazing, also composed by Toby Fox. Obviously, the most popular track is Megalovania, which is the Battle with Sans. That's the one that made it to Smash. But just everything about it is such a really good game, and I can now see why it got such high praise. And I'm almost like mad at myself for coming to this so late. I've only beaten it once through, and I got the neutral ending because I didn't know that like when you first get into the game, there's like a boss person that you're forced to fight. And at first I didn't realize that also when you're doing bosses, there's actions, but sometimes the actions don't fully stop the fight. And what you have to do is you have to choose the option called mercy. And you'll say mercy, which means you don't fight, but then they'll keep attacking you. But if you keep doing that over and over again, you'll get more and more dialogue until the point where you eventually still don't kill them. But I didn't know that. So I finished all the actions. It didn't give me the chance to spare them. I did mercy once. They said something. I was like, oh, crap, I have to kill this person. Killed them. Found out later that if you just keep clicking mercy, you can eventually not kill them. So I didn't get the true pacifist ending, but I think I'm going to go for that one next. And then I'm going to go for the genocide route, which is where you kill literally everything. And that's how you get the Sans fight. So, which I've talked to Matthew, who's played it, and he said that fight is by far the hardest fight in the game. Because some of the fights are actually like pretty damn challenging.
Sure.
But yeah, anyone who hasn't played this game, like you can get it for like $10-15, and it is filled with character life, great music, fun puzzles. It's just like one of the best indie games I've ever played.
It's on my list
Yeah, it's super
Why
fun.
would you spoil that?
of games to. No,
Oh, okay.
on my list of games to get.
Never
Yeah.
mind.
Definitely look out for it on sale, because it is
Well,
great.
When you said list, I'm like, we're talking about our list today, and it's like, bruh. You're
Yeah.
mortadella.
Well,
You're a
technically
plug.
that's you because you made an assumption that was wrong.
True. Your
Oh.
plug.
I'm plug. Please, mortadella.
That's fair.
But yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Awesome. So, do we want to start off with our list, game of the year, or most anticipated game?
Let's do most anticipated game of next year first. Does that make sense? No, it doesn't, right?
I
It's
feel
not-
like we should end with that.
yeah,
you want
okay.
to do game of the year first?
Let's do game of the year first,
Okay.
because it's less
Okay.
hype. So, to let people understand what this is, because we're not all made of money, and because not all of us have access to every system and everything, we
Speak
don't.
for yourself. I'm fucking rich, dude.
Okay. Aside from Shamik, who's fucking rich, we don't have access to play every new game. So doing a game of the year for games that came out in the year, we decided last year when we did it didn't really make sense because, we have maybe played
Yeah.
one or two of the
Mhm.
new games. So what we decided was that our game of the year would be comprised of games that we have played in this calendar
Personally.
year for the first time personally. So each list will be different and have different contenders that we have, but that's how we're going to do that. But the game of the decade list will strictly be games that came out in 2010 to 2019,
Yep.
not played.
Okay.
So
I want to go first.
go for
Okay,
it.
so runner up. I have a runner up.
Okay.
Okay, so the runner up for my game of 2019 is Shattered Pixel Dungeon. I've played so many hours, put so many hours in this game, infinite replayability, so much fun. Every time I go, I have a run, I have like 2 runs going right now. Just have a run on all the time. You can play for 5 minutes, you can play for half an hour. I don't know. It's just a fun game.
Yeah.
It's my kind of game, so I enjoy it. My game of the year 2019, drum roll, is Celeste.
I'm so happy you picked that.
Because
Oh man.
this game got me back into like playing platformers, and not only that, but it put me into like speedrunning platformers, and I'd never really done that. And this game has like a bunch of speedrunning mechanics, and besides that, like this whole game is so cutesy and it's full of life, and it's got such a good message, and like it touched me here. So I don't know. I guess I'm soft and sappy.
It's a
but
masterpiece. So
the music's great. The platforming, the jumping, the levels, everything about the game. I love the characters. I'm definitely gonna replay it. And they released a bunch of free DLC,
yeah,
so I'm working my way through that. That's my game of the year.
that's a very good choice. It's oh man, I can't speak highly enough about Celeste. That game is so damn good. Which one of us is going next for game of the year?
Are you fully decided? Do you need to?
My game of the year is decided.
Okay.
Okay.
Then why don't you go?
So I'm gonna list all the games that I played this year that are like, just so you know what I'm choosing from.
Yeah.
It's not like 20 games, so don't worry. So the contenders for my game of the year: Pokemon Sword,
Mm-hmm.
Fire Emblem Awakening,
Mm-hmm.
Fire Emblem Three Houses,
Uh-huh.
Destiny 2 Shadowkeep, Assassin's Creed Origins, Starlink Battle for Atlas, Apex Legends, Celeste, Gears 5, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, and this game is super old, but A Link to the Past. I played that for the first time. So I will also do runner-up, and man, this was tough. Out of this, there's 2 games I'm picking for sure, and decide which one was runner-up and which one was game of the year was so freaking hard. My runner-up is Celeste. And again, like Shamik said, this game does everything right. It's got amazing music that goes so well with both the emotions and the mood that the game is
Mm-hmm.
it's conveying with its beautiful, beautiful message about anxiety and depression and just mental health. And it also complements the gameplay. It does platforming so well. I have almost never controlled a character that has felt so responsive, especially with how fast moving it
Yeah.
can be.
Yeah.
Because you have games like Mario and stuff which feel good, but it's a slower experience. Celeste at times can be a very reactionary, like you've got to perfectly hit, perfectly jump, and just I've even watched videos about how like they came to make the character, like how the movement went, because they kept having to refine it, but they nailed down how smooth platforming is. There was almost never a time where I missed a jump and I thought the game was at fault.
Yeah.
It was always I screwed that
Yep.
up, It's not like, oh, it didn't respond to my jump.
Mhm.
Like it's just so good. And the level design is fantastic. Introducing new mechanics with each new world just felt refreshing. It didn't ever feel like a game with such limited controls always still felt fresh, even though they didn't add in like 20 different cool like jumps. There was always just something fresh to keep reinventing itself as you went through. And yeah, and then of course the message. This game is just it's a must play for gamers out there. And although it's challenging and you hear a lot of people say it's hard, it's not unfair.
True. Yeah.
It's challenging, but it's not unfair. So that is my runner-up, and like I said, it was so close to being my game of the year. My game of the year goes to Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Woo.
Having only played one playthrough, I have just scratched the surface on what is such a deep, deep game, both with its characters, with its combat, with its world building.
Mm-hmm.
This game is just such a massive experience with so many ways to play it. You've got the school, the monastery, that's just such a unique and fun experience. You have your interactions with all these different characters, like 20 different characters you could or even more that you could have on your team. All of them have voice lines, all of them have interactions with each other. You get to watch as these characters grow. And not only that, but this game has literally 4 fully fleshed out campaigns in one. You have its predecessor, which was Birthright, Conquest, and I can't remember what the third one was. That was a DLC. But that game was 3 stories separated. This game put 4 freaking stories in one game, and you get to do each story your own way with your own characters. You can pull people from different houses and have them join you, even if they're not part of that house, to then experience that story. And on top of that, it's got such a rewarding and deep combat system, and just so much customization with characters. Every character can be anything you want it to be. You have full control over who you get to level up, how you level them up, what they end up being. It's not like, oh, I got this person, they're a healer, they're going to be a healer. It's like, oh, this person's a healer, but I'd rather have them on the front lines with an axe. You can do that, and they won't be bad as long as you train them properly. And like I said, replayability with multiple game modes plus New Game Plus. Fire Emblem does it all, and it really helps you connect with these characters because of how much you get to see and interact with them. And I can't wait to start my second playthrough. I know it's been so long since I did my first one, but it's because it was like a 70-hour commitment to the first campaign. And with other games coming out this fall, I didn't want to be halfway through it and then have to be playing something new. But I will
break
be.
is always good.
Yeah, I will be coming back for it and doing my second playthrough very soon, and I can't wait because this game is just such a masterpiece. And I'm so happy it did well, because there were a lot of people who were worried, after seeing a bit of early stuff. But this game is absolutely fantastic and wins my game of the year.
All right.
So I didn't know we're doing runner-ups.
I mean, you don't have to.
Yeah, you don't have to. I just kind of
I needed one.
Yeah,
I didn't really think of one.
That's fine.
But like, my game of the year is definitely Three Houses. Like, I've sunk over 150 hours in that game on several playthroughs already. I finished my first one, and like, I'm starting my second one right away.
Yeah, I remember you were like, all right, I'm gonna go get a snack, and then second playthrough, let's go.
Yeah, I finished my Crimson Flower playthrough, which is picking the Edelgard side in when you pick Black Eagles. And like, I'm doing Golden Deer. I finished Golden Deer. I'm doing Blue Lions. I'm halfway through Blue Lions. Like, the game is.
I remember you going to work and playing in the parking lot before your shift.
Yeah.
Because you were so addicted to it.
I would watch support scenes. Like, for everything Brad said, the game. Fire Emblem Three Houses is the first game in a long time that's like really taken my attention, like sucked me in completely.
Those
100%.
are always special.
So it is a very special game to me. I love all the characters except Ignatz. You're a useless unit. I'm sorry.
What about Lorenz?
Lorenz is fine.
Oh, okay. I see a lot of people hating on Lorenz.
I like Lorenz. He's pretty good.
He needs a haircut.
He's fine.
I mean, I need a haircut too, so it's okay.
I love all the characters. I love how flawed and intricate the characters are. Like, they have characters with like they have like some mental health issues going on and stuff like that. And they have characters that, on the surface seem like complete idiots or complete assholes, and once you get to know them a little better, it's like you are not the person your surface tends to show you to be, right? So
there's a lot of depth to them, and there's almost always a character that you can relate to. Like, they're so well done.
And I love how each playthrough tells you something different about the world that you play in. Like, you won't you learn something new about like the church and like the history of the world through every single playthrough, and why some things why some things are happening to be, other things aren't. And I love the gameplay, but that's not like the main point. But the main point is I love all the characters. The characters are great. Like, they're all.
That's what make the game for you.
Like Edelgard being, this leader that has a dark past but wants to change things for the better, but in a very militaristic, bloody way. And, Claude, who believes that both Fodlan and Almeria should be, have better relationships, and there shouldn't be a wall between them. And I'm still playing through the Blue Lions, so I'm curious to see how Dimitri views the world and all that. But and I'll eventually get to my church route. Like it's a great game. Like I could pick it up and be engrossed every time. So Three Houses is my game of the year.
Damn
Yeah.
right.
So by that judgment, collectively, Three Houses is Three Could Plays game of the
Yeah.
year because two was just kidding.
Sure. Be gone.
Your Celeste's trash. Get out of here.
Hey, that was my runner-up. Don't you dare backfire.
I've never played it. So.
You need to.
We'll see.
No, do it.
Nah,
I will tie you down until you play it.
that's fine. You still can't get me to play Resident Evil 4, so it's fine.
Time to
You're a lost cause.
Oh wait, that's the wrong.
What'd you do?
Took like 40 pictures.
Is that what it was? of your leg, your
My
calf.
face knows.
Oh, his
Face cam.
face cam.
So do you want to do anticipation?
I think we
first?
should end off on anticipation.
Okay. All right.
personally.
So we're gonna do our top 10 of decade lists.
Yes. So, are we all doing like kind of different views? Like, how did you guys
So,
structure your list?
My list it's not fully like this, but like some of the games on my list, some of the games aren't. Like some of the games on my list are games that I feel have had the biggest impact over the last 10 years in terms of like how the video game industry reacted to it or how like people reacted to it. And some of them I feel like were the best games to come out in the past 10 years.
Okay. What about your list?
I made a list of my favorite games of the last 10 years.
Okay. Mine was similarly structured like that. Because of your list, Nick, and I feel like you might have like the coolest take since you're kind of looking at it
Okay.
both subjective and objectively. Do you want to start things off?
Sure.
So we talked about this before. None of us put an order because I feel like making the 10 games was hard enough. Trying to
Mhm.
order them 1 through 10 would just be
Yep.
would be too much.
I'm gonna start off with a hot take.
Oh God! All right.
Fortnite.
Oh my god.
I had a feeling.
so
I had
did
a
I.
feelling, especially when you said like games that like impacted. I was like, he's gonna put Fortnite on. there.
No other game this past 10 years has had a biggest impact on not only the video game industry but like pop culture and media in general. Like Fortnite, we had Ninja, the most popular streamer like probably ever, like got Drake to be on his stream with him. He like everybody's talking about Fortnite. Marshmallow did a concert in Fortnite. Like there's all these things happening in Fortnite and around Fortnite. Like just like it is the biggest game, even though it might have been like seems like it might have been short lived or maybe not. Like the biggest game of the decade, hands down, in my opinion.
As I don't play it, and nor am I a big fan of it, but I cannot deny the impact that this game has
I
had.
don't
in the
think anyone
gaming
can.
world.
I think
No.
you're a fool if you deny it.
Yeah, you're living very ignorant if you think this game didn't make waves.
Yeah, so like Fortnite's on my list.
Okay.
Sean Mike, bro.
Are we rotating?
Oh, we doing one? Okay, I
One
like
at a
that.
time,
I like
one
that.
at a
Okay,
time.
I like that.
All right.
Okay.
What's the first game I want to say?
Pick anyone.
Okay. Amnesia: The Dark Descent.
I had a feeling.
This game is on my best game of the decade list because I don't know, the first time I played this game was with me, one of my good friends, his older brother, and my younger brother. And we were all playing on his like he had like a huge 40-inch Mac or something. And we I put on headphones, turned on speakers so they could hear, and turned off all the lights, and the three of them watched me play this game. And every time things got too scary, I would hit escape. I just chill for a
Just nope
second.
the fuck out.
Just chill for a second.
I'm gonna head out.
Yeah.
Pretty much relax. I just have great memories about playing this game with those guys, and I don't know. Like even though, and then I went back and solo played it by myself again, and this game is so atmospheric, so moody, done so well. You think this game is one thing. You think it's like you go in thinking, oh, it's gonna be like a horror game. It's gonna be like this. You're gonna have to fight a monster, or I don't know. I personally went in like expecting like typical tropes of horror, and instead I found like lots of like weird adventure tidbits, and like it was, I don't know, it was such a good game. So, and it got me into the world of like just playing really scary games. And so yeah, Amnesia: The Dark Descent.
I think one of the scariest things about it is that it's a game you can't fight back.
Yeah, that
Which I think adds so many elements to horror games. If
100%,
you can't
100%,
fight
yeah.
back, you're vulnerable. It
Mhm.
makes it so much more intense.
hiding,
Yeah.
all the emotions are more visceral because it's right in your face. There's nothing between you and the horror. There's no
Yeah.
like protective layer. The only thing you have is being able to run away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Mr. Crably.
All right. Since I want to keep you guys on your toes and surprise you with a few of mine, my first couple will be the more obvious ones that you guys probably already know of. First one I will name, and this was one of the easiest by far to put on my list, was Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. That game, like, if I was making a list of 1 to 10, that one would easily be top 3 of the decade. Breath of the Wild to me was
A breath of fresh air.
It was, but also a masterpiece and almost like genre defining in open world. This game did open world better than almost every other game I've played. A lot of open world games have you chasing question marks or markers on a map to explore. You know, you're following either a quest point or it's like you'll have a question mark like an area's here and you're like, oh, I'll go check it out. Breath of the Wild was like, here's the world. Go wherever the hell you want and do whatever the hell you want. There's no order to doing the beasts. There's no, like, there's missions to do quests and stuff for people, but you don't have, there's no, like, you have to do this right now or whatever. You literally are released to the world, to the elements, and you look over and you go, you know what, that looks cool. I'm going to go there. That looks really cool. I'm going to go there. And you just explore the world and you find all sorts of amazing, you know, puzzles, shrines, enemy types. You find different ways to survive with both cooking and clothing. The combat is, although simplistic, very fun and rewarding if you're good, and it does get very challenging against some of the higher enemies later on in the game. Game also does help if you find the guy early on, so you can increase your inventory, like I did not do because I am.
Did you eventually get to that?
I found him at the end of the game when it was useless. But there's even like an island that you can find in one of the corners of the map where you literally are stripped of all your gear and it's just like survival and figuring out the puzzles of the island with like almost nothing, which was really cool. And like the first time you see one of those dragons, the gigantic dragons that are just flying around, like it's just, you're just in this world of just like magic. And it's been a long time since the game I've like been so into and just absorbed into its world and just wanting to explore things even if there's nothing there. Like, I don't know if I'm going to find anything, but it looks intriguing and I want to go there. And you shape your journey and you experience the world and what it has to offer. And with a very cool ending, by being able to explore Hyrule Castle, like post Calamity Ganon, it's just, yeah, I can't praise this game enough. It is just such a masterpiece and easily in my top 10 of all time games, and that's why it had to be on this list. Number 2,
Mass Effect 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was not expecting this. I was expecting Mass Effect 2.
So yes.
This is a hot take, Nick.
So yes, Mass Effect 2 is probably the second best in the franchise. The first one still being the best to me.
Andre is currently triggering right now.
Whatever. But I chose Mass Effect 3 over 2 because it's the culmination of your Shepard's journey. It is BioWare, while they might not have hit a home run or hit anything on the ending,
Red ending?
it showed that you can have your own stories span across several, like 3 different games, and feel like you've made an impact in each of them, all of it coming to an end in 3. The threat of the Reapers, all of it coming to an end in one game, and seeing all of that in like an emotional payoff. That's why I chose 3 over 2, not because it's the better game, but because I feel like it's the end of a journey and not the actual game itself.
It also had Rex, whereas 2 didn't, so that helps.
Yeah, so I feel like Mass Effect 3, just for like its emotional payoff, even though it might not have hit in some areas, was more impactful than 2 being just a great game.
That is fair. I knew Mass Effect something was going to be on your list.
Not Mass Effect 3.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be 2, but I knew there was no way Mr. Mass Effect here wouldn't have one of those games on his list.
Sure.
I give him full credit for introducing me to the series too.
Yeah.
He
100%.
gave me Mass Effect 1 to borrow on the Xbox 360, and he's the reason I played the
I will
series.
never
so-
not hyped up that game enough, man. That game was phenomenal.
Yeah.
So it's
Right.
phenomenal.
Yes. Your number 2, Shamek, or not number, your second one.
For number 2, I have Fallout New Vegas.
I had a feeling one of you, if not both of you, would put that on your list.
Fallout New Vegas is, like you said about Breath of the Wild, I think one of the best open world games that I've ever played, because you can go anywhere and do anything, and this game is never on rails, I find. It never pushes you in any direction. It just tells you things are available for you to do, and this is the only RPG I've ever played in which you can kill literally anyone
Yeah.
you want. The
There's
good
nobody
guys,
you
the bad
shoot
guys.
and it goes, they're knocked out.
Yeah,
It allows you to walk the line as long as you want.
Yep. And no other RPG that I've ever played has ever done that. So just for that, and I don't know, like the story of the game isn't the most impactful or the most emotional, and that's fine. But I don't think the thing that was cool about this game was the journey from getting to where you start to where you end up, and just walking through the desert and the Mojave and getting to all the cities and the lights and seeing like all the like little encampments of like I forget the names of things, but like the mutants, and there was like just different stories in the desert of like
Yeah.
people who wanted to go to space and vaults that you discovered, and I don't know, it was cool. So
I remember the
Re-
people who wanted to go to space.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
I love the fact that like you can kill the leaders of both main factions and like just have like you can just do that.
yeah,
Because why not?
exactly. And you can like, I love the companions and like trying to get the companions. Boone was my boy.
Yeah.
I rocked him from beginning to end.
Boone is great.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a great game. You know, it's like it's old, it's dated. It's got the trappings of, I guess, an aged RPG or what have you. But I don't know.
But I feel
Fun
like for
game.
this list, we look at each game as when they came out.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I don't
Sure.
think we can compare a 2010 game to a 2019 game for this list. I think we
Yeah,
have to look at
exactly.
them. So for its time,
Mhm.
for in 2010, and I think a lot of people still to this day hold it as the best Fallout game.
Yes.
And
That's
Fallout
a
New
praise.
Vegas makes me look forward to the next great RPG. I'm looking forward to
That's not made by Bethesda.
whatever, like wherever it comes from, because
Yeah.
I know I have a standard now that I can match everything else that comes out to, and it's Fallout New Vegas for me.
Yeah. Right. My second one is also another obvious one. I'm sure you guys, once I say it, will have expected this to be on my list, and that is The Last of Us. This game has to be one of, if not the best, narrative-driven single-player experiences I have ever played.
Mm-hmm.
The game is the characters and the journey you take in this game is fantastic, and it hooks you in with one of the most emotional, gut-wrenching scenes in like the first 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
This game brought me to tears 5 minutes into playing it, and immediately I just met these characters and you have me crying as if this is a character I've been following on a journey for hours on
Mhm.
end because of how emotional and
Dude,
just,
Naughty Dog just
yeah, it just, they pull you into the story right away, and you watch. And the thing that's crazy about this game is you play as a main character who isn't perfect, is pretty flawed,
Mhm.
and you'll find out throughout the game does not necessarily make all of the morally right decisions. And you are watching the dynamic between Joel and Ellie through this game and how their relationship evolves. At first, him not wanting anything to do with her, and then him almost becoming a father to her, or at least wanting to be a father to her, mixed with extremely suspenseful combat with the enemies, especially the clickers,
Mhm.
and the whole crafting survival where you need to save your ammo, you need to save supplies to bandage yourself or make shivs to assassinate enemies. If you run and gun or run out with a knife that eventually is going to break, you're going to run out of supplies. You have to play this game smart. Extremely well written side characters that help drive the story, and the different places you go when you end up in, I think is it Pittsburgh or in the city that you go to?
Atlanta? No, it's not.
I
Atlanta.
don't
Somewhere on the East
remember the
Coast. I
cities.
think it's
Oh.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But you go through that, you go through like you have like the spring, the summer, the fall, you're going through the
Yeah,
seasons.
yeah.
scenery changes. Winter is a very intense time, and you actually spend a lot of that playing as Ellie, which is also really fun to be able to get behind a different character and play from her perspective and see how she handles things. Because Joel, who's much older and has seen a lot of shit, whereas Ellie's been a little bit more sheltered, and you see how both of them can handle like extremely terrifying scenarios.
World.
And then without spoiling that ending, like holy shit. That ending was fucking insane. Like actually insane. And you know, if you told me, you know, if you know Men in Black, that thing that erases your memory, if you came up to me and said, "Hey, pick one game you won't remember how it goes and you can play it again for the first time," I'd probably pick Last of Us. I would love to experience this game blind again. That's how damn good it was. So that's why it had to make my list.
Speaking of, Samsung has a thing where it makes you forget your favorite thing. It hypnotizes you. I don't know how well it works,
I don't trust that.
but yeah, I mean, I don't trust it either. I wouldn't use it. Like
Yeah.
they might like do some crazy shit with your head, but apparently,
I don't want to mess with my brain. No thanks, Samsung.
All right. Since you already said it, I guess I'll say it's Last of Us on my list too. So I think it set the standard for any narrative-based game. Like, you need to have compelling characters, and your story needs to be good. You need to have your characters go through tragedy and grief. It doesn't need to be dark like Last of Us was, but like something needs to happen to these characters for you to feel relatable to them and them to feel compelling. All at the same time, you need good writing and good actors to do it. Like Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson
yeah, the
Yeah,
acting
are
really
phenomenal.
makes this.
They're
I
really
agree.
great. Like
I agree.
Last of Us came along to be the perfect combination of all those things, and it is. I think it's a genre defining game in terms of narrative sense. So yeah, that's why Last of Us on my list.
I also have Last of Us.
Let's
on my
go.
list.
I'm so happy. It
This
made your
game is
list.
so to add on to what you guys have already said. I think this game is also really gorgeous.
Yeah.
It looks really great. Whoever does the environmental stuff, whoever does the level designing, all that kind of thing, props to them because they've got details, they've got like all the things that you would expect there to be, and I don't know. It seems a little different than just your standard run of the mill, rundown, post-apocalyptic like city or wherever. You know, there's a little bit of character to it. There's a little bit of life to the game. So
Yeah.
it's also that.
This is a must play if you have access to a PS3 or PS4. Like,
Yep.
I think we all can agree, considering we all
Yeah.
have it on our list. All right. That is pretty funny. That might be the only game that all of us have on it, but I'm glad.
Yeah,
I'm glad that
probably.
from all of us coming from different games and different consoles, that we still all found this one game to be that good. I think that speaks volumes
Mhm.
for
Can't wait for the
just how
second
good
one.
it is. So
Gonna be
my third game, and this one, I doubt any of you guys have on it, but it's a 2010 game. It just slipped in. That is Pokemon Soul Silver. So, you gave me a weird look.
Okay, no,
Just- okay.
continue.
So for anyone, Pokemon Soul Silver is a remake of, and it also was Heart Gold was a remake of Pokemon Silver and Gold for the Nintendo DS. This game, like other remakes, is a remake, but also adds a bunch of new elements to the game. And Pokemon Silver and Gold and Crystal, that gen will forever be my favorite. I think it's gonna be so hard for Game Freak to come out with a Pokemon game that beats that in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Just the age I was at mixed with what the game introduced was just the perfect
The little
perfect
walker thing. Did you
recipe.
get that?
Yeah,
Nice.
the perfect recipe. And then when they come out with a remake that was just nothing but praising the game and just adding new flavor to what was already a good experience was fantastic. It had the little Poke Walker where you could take your Pokemon for walks and get items. And I remember a few of us who had the game in gym class when we had to do our 12-minute run, we'd be holding on to the Poke Walkers.
I
just to
remember
get
that.
steps.
I remember that.
Myself, Andre. It still is the only Pokemon game that has 16 badges in it.
There needs to be
and
another
2
one.
regions.
There needs to be
They've
another
never
one.
done this
There
again.
needs to be another one.
And I just love the experience of going through a region, being the Elite Four, then being released back into Kanto,
Yeah.
doing that, and then going to face Red,
Such
which
a
is
good-
one of the coolest battles. Also,
Mhm.
one of the best Pokemon themes. The Red
Yeah.
theme is so dope.
I agree.
On top of that, they introduced the follow, the buddy thing,
Right,
which hasn't
right.
been seen since Pokemon Yellow,
Yeah.
and then was dropped again, which bothers me. That should be a feature forever in Pokemon games. The ability for your Pokemon to be out with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
They brought it back again in Let's Go, and then in Pokemon Sword and Shield, it's gone again. That needs to be a mainstay mechanic.
I agree.
They just
having-
need to take They need to take a break from making Pokemon games and then spend a couple years on it instead of like a 2 or 1. Like
Yeah,
spend like 3 or 4 developing a proper game.
polish the crap out of this
Yeah.
thing. And it was just filled with all the goodies that Silver and Gold had, and which is it's just newer. I
Mhm.
remember when I first got this game, I got it with both Matthew and his brother Ian. We literally woke up, I think it was a Saturday, went to EB Games at Open, grabbed all of our pre-order copies, went to Matthew's living room, and we sat there and played for 8 hours. All three of us, we were just sitting there on our DSs playing for 8 hours straight. I'm not going to say this game is genre defining. I'm not going to say, like this sets the standard, but this was just such a beautiful remake for my favorite Pokemon game. So for me personally, that's why it had to make the list. Plus, I got a little cool Lugia figure, which is my favorite Pokemon, so that was dope.
I will say it's on my honorable mentions.
Really?
Yep.
That makes
So-
me happy.
It's not on mine, but I do have a Pokemon game on my list,
Of course, I knew it. I freaking knew
and
it.
it is Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
Pokemon Go, while not being one of my favorite games of all time, it's on my list because, like Fortnite, another game that took the world by absolute storm. Like when it released, I started playing it right away. I played it for a little bit. Obviously, I dropped it because I don't play more. But I know the game's still going strong. The game is not dying anytime
No.
soon. It's added, and it is. It's funny because like when it first came out, you saw people by the mass going out, walking around to Pokestops and catching Pokemon and all that. And now you have people battling in raids and all these gym battles, right? So like, it's a game that brought people together in communities that would have never existed before this. Like there are people that get together of like several iPhones and iPads or whatever, and like go to freaking raids and battle on several different devices. So that it's probably one of the best mobile games of all time,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Even though I don't like it very much, I can respect it for what it is because you kind of have to for Pokemon Go. But yeah, like it's just another game that took the world by storm and like just hasn't let go. Like it's had its best year this year
Yeah,
kind of
this
thing.
this
Like
summer.
2019 was its best year since release.
Yeah.
The game's not going anywhere and it's just getting better and better. So like it's a phenomenally made mobile game, I guess.
Yeah. And
Coming
and
from me.
to add on to what you said about it getting people, when I was playing that game and when we go out and do raids or community days, you see people from every
Yeah, it's
All walks of
from
life.
all
every
walks of life,
background.
all
everything. You've
all
seen
ages too, man. It's
all
everybody.
ages. I've seen little kids to like elderly people going around playing, and everyone I've encountered is super friendly. They'll be like, "Hey, like what team are you on? Oh, look, like we'll wait for you to do the raid." Like everyone is just so friendly, and it gets people talking who would otherwise just pass somebody by and maybe give them a head nod. And like you said, it literally brings people together to celebrate Pokemon. And I know you've said that you've never seen anything like the first couple weeks of Pokemon Go.
Yeah, the first couple of weeks were insane. People walking everywhere, like just
Yeah.
going to different parks, stuff like that. And there are other games that try to replicate the success that the Ghostbusters game, the Harry Potter game, but just,
Everything uses the Pokemon Go format.
it's just it
Yeah.
doesn't work. It doesn't work because it's not Pokemon.
Yeah.
Pokemon's just that appealing to literally almost everybody.
Yeah.
It's just it's crazy what kind of impact the game has had in the past 5 years since it came out, something like that.
It has made Niantic one of the
It
the
is,
biggest beasts out there now.
and it's still going strong. So yeah, Pokemon Go is on my list.
I also have Pokemon Go on my list. Not because I think it's a well-designed game or because it's a great game, but because, like you said, Brad, that first month, that first 2 months of playing, I've never seen anything like it before, and I don't think I ever will again. I might, I hope to, but it was such a weird, surreal experience. Now that I think about it, just like
Yeah.
random people, just like everyone just walking around like this, hundreds of people en masse, no matter where you went in the city, probably in the world. I don't know, but
for
it
sure.
seemed like that here.
You can still see that happening today. Like when I used to work downtown, like I see people walk around like they're all their phones and stuff, like out playing Pokemon Go.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's insane.
Yeah.
So just for the ability to bring people together,
Yeah.
it's on my list.
Fair. It's a great game. I know you're the only one here who doesn't really play it,
Yeah.
but
I gotta respect it.
Yeah.
I'm like
it's-
a very, 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 very casual player. So I don't agree with a lot of things the game
Yeah.
does.
It's because I don't like it, I don't respect it.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Like Fortnite, none of us play it, but we can all appreciate what it's done. Alrighty. Next one for me. So I kind of cheated here, and I hope you guys will allow it.
What'd you do?
I counted 2 games as one.
Okay, what'd you do?
Just go with it. Just do it.
Destiny.
All of Destiny?
All of Destiny. Because I'm
Okay.
looking at it
Okay.
as an Evergrown game. Does that count? Can I do that?
Sure.
Okay.
I have D2 on my honorable mentions. So.
Okay. So I'm counting Destiny as a whole because aside from, Destiny 2 didn't necessarily let you keep your like weapons or anything, but it's just one big universe.
Sure.
And that's kind of what Destiny 2 is going for, is to be like the one big game. So
Yep.
I kind of look at
Mhm.
it as like World of Warcraft. But Destiny as a series it has definitely had its highs and lows, but I think it has set the standard and is like one of the pioneers of what is a modern like looter that a lot of games are trying to emulate, whether it's Division, whether it's
Borderlands
Anthem, whether
3.
it's Borderlands. I know Borderlands
Monster
came
Hunter.
first, but this one did online, and like the
Yeah.
thing, like Borderlands was more a
Yeah,
grounded
single
single-player experience. And I think, Bungie coming from Halo took a lot of what they've learned and shaped, like I said, a very rocky but overall amazing experience that has been very community driven and has turned into such a expansive world with so much story and so much to tell. Sometimes again they've had trouble, but I can't think of a game that has pulled me in for so many hours and
Over so many years too.
over so many years. I've been playing these games for 5 years, and it has got to be in my like top 5 most played easily.
I can see. Yeah.
And
how.
and the main reason is because at its core, even if you're in a content drought, even if you're not somebody who wants to chase these god roll items and you just want to play the game, at its core, it is one of the most polished, fun shooters I have ever played. The gunplay
Yeah.
it's got to be one of the best FPS games, hands down. The guns feel fantastic, and this is Bungie. Like this is their bread and butter. They made Halo. They know what an FPS game should feel like, and they nailed it since day one. I have not like ever felt that Destiny hasn't been fun to play.
Yeah.
Reasons to play are different, but the
Mhm.
actual mechanics of the game is so fun. Using your supers, using all of your abilities, and just the crispness of the gunplay to its core has always been there. And as long as that is there, no matter what else happens, I will be playing Destiny because it is just
That much fun to
so
play.
damn fun.
Yeah.
Make
And-
swords great again.
I will agree with that. Make swords great again. And it had, in my opinion, its best expansion last year in Forsaken. And it's just, every day I want to learn more about this world. I've bought the books. What are
The
they called?
lore books.
The lore books that Nick actually showed me about, just because I want to learn more. I want to go to every ends of the earth and just learn more about this amazing world that they've built. Bungie is great at storytelling. Again, they made Halo. And yeah, it's an addicting, super fun shooter,
Mhm.
and probably one of the best I've ever played. And that's why I had to put it on my list.
Well, let's get it off our chest. Destiny's on my list too, but not cheating a bit. I put Destiny on my list, not the overall Destiny on my list, because Destiny 1, when it first came out, Vanilla Destiny might have not been the greatest game to like on release to come out. Like it was definitely had lots of issues. The expansions were very hit and miss in the first year for Dark Below, and then House of Wolves definitely being the better of the two. But then when Taken King came out is when Destiny 1 really hit its stride. And I'm not putting Destiny on my list because of like the gameplay, the combat. I'm putting it on my list because it is Destiny 1 really engrossed me with its mystery of like the world, the lore, and all that. Like reading about everything that happened in the past and like little tidbits and conversations, trying to piece that together, what actually happened, is to me, what makes the best parts of Destiny is it's a world of mystery.
Yeah.
You wake up as the Guardian years after the collapse, your golden age. Humanity and all these other races are not doing so well, and you wake up and you try to piece together the mysteries of what happened and try to restore Earth to what it was as best you can, with all these races that have their own backstories coming after you. The Fallen being a race that in their stories that the Traveler chose them before they chose the humans, the Exos, and the Awoken. And now the Fallen have traveled across the system, coming to Earth, the Moon, whatever, trying to take back the machine, as they call it. The Cabal, a race of planet destroying creatures that go
Psychopaths.
around and try to like basically instill militaristic rule on the planets they come in. The Hive, probably the best representation of the darkness that the very ominous evil figure in the game, the world they talk about. You know, just all consuming. They will kill everything, kind of like the Flood in Halo. They don't care who they take as long as they take you. And then you have the Vex, the time traveling robots that may have not been created by humans. Like, it's when they create the Exo. It's just Destiny. Got me by it being a world of mystery. It didn't get me from the combat. It didn't get me from the planets. It got me from the mystery behind everything, and me wanting to learn more about the lore, the story, the worlds. Like, that is what really got me. And you really get that from when you first open up Destiny and you hear Marty O'Donnell's like original score, and it just being like this sound of wonder and mystery. And I will never get over. I will never be able to like. I will never not forget hearing it for the first time and being engrossed in everything. It's just, it was spectacular to me.
Yeah. And I will say, I think you and I shared one of my favorite gaming moments when we did the Skolas
All the
battle with
that
with
was
Ian.
so good. Me, you, and Ian, like, just going at it for hours, and then we finally got it. It felt so
was
fucking
one of the
good.
most satisfying cooperative gaming
Not
experiences
to
I've had.
mention, like, in terms of gameplay, like the raids in Destiny, like especially Vault of Glass, are just, it's so they're so good.
And before Destiny, there was nothing like that for first-person shooters.
Absolutely nothing.
Like, raids were usually just MMO things.
Yeah.
This is the first time they transformed such a big thing
Yeah.
into the FPS genre, and they did it, like Nick said, Vault of Glass is still held in regards as one of, if not the best raid.
Yeah.
And they launched that without anything else. They made that. It's crazy.
It's Destiny. Year one was definitely rocky, but by the end of Destiny 1's lifespan, it was definitely a game I held in very high regard, and it hooked me in. It hooked me good.
My turn. So another game on my list is Faster Than Light.
He didn't forget.
Oh, I thought you'd forget it.
We were talking about whether you remembered it, like whether you were going to put that on your list or not. And Nick was like, I wonder if he'll forget about it because of how long it's been.
This game is such a great entryway into roguelites and roguelikes. The gameplay loop is a ton of fun. Every replay is different. Every replay is new. It's fresh. The premise is pretty simple. You're the last hope of a rebel federation being chased by an imperial fleet. You have to get you have to warn the rebel fleet that the imperial supercruiser is on its way. And when you get there, you realize that you're the only hope, and that's the game. But from between starting your mission and getting to the end is a whole thing, and you get to build your own ship. You get to choose your crew. You get to customize everything about your ship and your pilots and your teammates and all that kind of thing. And you get to do a build and different weapons and do like a teleporter build or a hacker build or like a stealth build. Lots of cool little things like that. It's very easy and accessible as far as roguelikes go. This game got me into like heavier roguelikes as well. I don't know. It's just I have hundreds of hours in this game. It's a space opera-ish kind of experience, which, you know, I like to like name my characters after like me and shit. So
yeah,
I do that. I don't know. It's just a fun game. You get to. And there's like it's not just all combat. There's like you get to make like choices about you discover a like a abandoned space colony. Do you want to send someone on board to see what happens or something? You know, it's just like these. It's kind of like this huge opera condensed into like just choices,
Yeah.
which is fun. So I like it.
Right. The next one on my list. When do I want to see here? Super Mario Odyssey.
Okay, interesting.
This game, again, like Breath of the Wild for open world, was just for platforming for me was just I was in love with this game from start to finish. Um, as somebody who hadn't played a Super Mario game since Sunshine, I never had a Wii. I never touched Galaxy or Galaxy 2, and I never played 3D World on the Wii U. It was such a fresh new experience for me because it had been so long since I had played one of these games. And just how expansive this world was. You literally were traveling through like 10 to 12 different kingdoms that were all so beautifully done with very cool characters and very unique artistic styles and designs. It was just awesome being able to go into each of these new kingdoms and just like a brand new world that you got to explore, like their own little mini hub worlds. The movement feels very, very satisfying, and if you are not that good at platforming, it is simplistic enough that you can do it. But if you are very good, you can master it and do like if you watch people speed run, some of the jumps they do using Cappy, which for anyone who doesn't know is the hat that Mario has, is crazy. There are some pretty intense jumps and like speed tricks that you can do in this game.
Innovated by people.
And
right?
very innovative. Yeah. A lot of people just came up with this stuff. On top of that, the ability to use this hat to transform into dozens and dozens of enemies and using those enemies to solve puzzles, making each world creative because they have their own unique inhabitants that you get to use, whether it's a Goomba or a freaking T-Rex or even letters that you have to move into certain places to then become a word. It's just it's so cool. The music is fantastic. New Donk City, which is basically their take on New York, was such a massive world and very vertical. There was so many like different levels to that world. Mixed in with they even have a lot of throwback to old school Mario. There's even 2D platforming where you go into the wall and play like that. And the story's charming. You know, you're saving Peach, but Bowser doesn't have ill intent. He just wants to marry her. And it's pretty funny, and the ending is so satisfying. The ending, you basically take over as you play as Bowser, and you're just like smashing your way through with such intense music going on. It brought me back to being a kid again, and it was just so much fun. And there's so much to do. There's so many puzzles in each world to collect the moons. You have so much to do in each of these worlds. And then it also has post game with the moon. You go to the darkest side of the moon with it pretty challenging. The game for the most part is relatively easy, but if you want a challenge at the end, there's a pretty challenging segment to do. But yeah, I love that game so much, so I had to put it on my list.
Nice.
My next game is Spec Ops: The Line.
Ooh.
A word.
So I showed this game. Doesn't have the greatest combat. Doesn't have the greatest it's not the greatest combat like game, but it's like a third person shooter game. I showed this game because of its story. This game takes you through, I think it's Dubai, like in some sort of post-apocalyptic version of it, where like Sandstorm taking over, and then before you and your squad enter, like your old CO is there, and he like was there to set for relieve the for like relief missions, and something happened, and then you lose all contacts. You go in to go find him, and this game makes you do things that makes you feel absolutely horrible on the inside. Like there's one point where
This is Turtle Rock Studios, right?
I don't know, I don't remember, but like you're on this ledge and you have this little like mortar launcher, and inside the mortar launcher is white phosphorus, and down below is an encampment. Don't know of like what, but you know you need you need to get through there, and it'll be hostile. Thing is, you have no choice. The game gives you illusion of choice. It makes you do things that are morally gray, that makes you feel like you've done something horribly wrong. Especially with the white phosphorus scene, you have to shoot it into this crowd, and you go in and find out later that there were kids and parents in this encampment too, and you shot white phosphorus into this camp. And like, I sat at that moment. I sat before shooting off. I sat there. I'm like, there has to be another way to do this. It can't make me do this. And then I realized like the game is making me do this. Like, there's no other game that I felt like such a shitty person. Like, I know it's like they're just characters in a game, but like just the act of like doing some of the things in the game of like that were just so horrible, and like it stuck with me. It's just like people do this to each other, and it's just it was just amazing in the sense of like the narrative in that game, the story was just hitting home, and like the ending reveal of like what's actually going on in with your character is just is mind blowing. It's a game I recommend everybody play because it's your first time going through it is phenomenal.
It's on my list of games.
Yeah, and I don't want to spoil anything else. That game's just great.
It's one of the very few games that I think has walked that line. Been
sure, I haven't played it.
Really good. Like, I haven't played it, but just from what I've heard, not many. Like, a lot of other games play it pretty safe and not making you do such horrific things.
It's great. It's a must play for me.
My turn. Okay. Next up, I have. Which one do I want to mention? Mass Effect 2.
Okay, so we got another Mass Effect title, but this one is different.
This is my favorite Mass Effect game. I love Mass Effect, the trilogy. And I had to put one of the games on here. And so I picked my favorite one.
You could have put the first one on.
It's true, 07 or 08.
Yeah, somewhere on that.
So yeah, Mass Effect 2 is one of the games that this is the point. This was the point in Mass Effect where I really fell in love with it. Because all of a sudden you go from being Commander Shepard. I don't know, like in the first game I felt like the scope of the game was a little smaller than it is, and then in Mass Effect 2 the scope of the game just opens up. Like a lot of the stuff about the Reapers, it comes to light, and you truly begin to realize like, oh shit, this is some like universe ending calamity that's going on. So this is the game where Tali took my heart. This is the game where so many great things happen in this game. Like you meet Thane Krios in this game, one of the best characters in Mass Effect. Kind of sad that he got sidelined in number 3, but what can you do? I mean, he's sick, so I guess that's an excuse, but you know.
He was literally dying of an illness.
I feel like Thane wouldn't let that, stop him. Whatever. Anyways, that's my headcanon. Yeah. Mass Effect is a great series, and it's a great series because they seamlessly blend like human storytelling with like this far off realm of sci-fi and stuff. So
Mass Effect's great because all the characters are great.
Yeah.
Except Jacob Taylor.
You're not a fan of Jacob?
He was alright. Wasn't the greatest.
True. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Mass Effect 2 and the suicide mission at the end. Such a great moment in gaming for me.
It is
just sitting there and going through that whole thing. So yeah.
Mass Effect is definitely one of my all-time favorite franchises. Like it's the best. Like in terms of video games, the best.
Yeah.
Absolute best.
You're up, Brad.
Well, since we're on it, I also have Mass Effect 2 on my list.
Nice.
This one was definitely tough because aside from all of the flack that 3 gets, I still hold 3 very high. I think the
Yeah,
whole
sure.
Mass Effect trilogy as a whole is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Fun fact: Mass Effect 3 is the only Mass Effect game I have never replayed.
Really?
I've replayed 1 and 2 like over 100 times. I can't do 3.
Was there a reason?
It's too
Particular?
emotional.
Yeah,
Fair.
I would think that.
Because at least you know with 2 there's still more.
Yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
3, that's yeah.
That's it.
2, I think the reason it stands out a little bit more is just the jump that it took from 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's almost like the Assassin's Creed 1 to 2 jump. If you compare those two, Assassin's Creed 1, like Mass Effect 1, laid down the foundation. And Assassin's Creed 2, just like Mass Effect 2, was basically like, we're going to perfect everything that we laid down in the first one. And Mass Effect 2 took everything that 1 did great and did it great again. And anything that was holding Mass Effect 1 back, potentially combat and stuff like that,
Except the final boss fight.
Can
that
I
was not
interrupt you
perfected.
for
fair.
1 second?
Yeah.
I dislike that they took away the heat mechanic from the guns.
You didn't like the ammo system?
No, because I like the in-universe explanation that they have like little blocks of metal inside the guns that like chip away little pieces,
Oh, okay.
and that's why it overheats.
Fair.
But the fact that they get rid of that and they added like mags and ammo. Like,
Yeah.
Well, the heat clips are like, you just eject your heat clip. and
Oh,
then
it's
you-
actually wait. So it's the same tech?
It's the same tech, but it's like just done. It's explained how they changed it from
Ah,
like
okay.
the overheat style to you just eject the overheating magazine and put a new one in.
Okay. Okay.
That is how
interesting.
it's explained.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then in Andromeda, you can go either or.
Mm.
Because you can customize your own guns in Andromeda. Anyways, back
That's
to what you were
cool.
explaining.
I actually didn't know you could do that. But yeah, it just, like you said, scope. You know, the first game you're trying to stop Saren
Mhm.
and figure out what he's doing, and then you find out at the end the Reapers are involved, and then in 2 you realize this threat is, like you said, global.
Yeah.
This is, or not, universal. This threat is coming for everything.
Yeah.
Every living thing. This isn't just a problem inside the Citadel. This is a problem for every living species. And the cast, I can't think of, it's hard to think of games that have such a compelling cast. They have a lot of characters that you can do a lot with,
Yeah.
and all of them are so well written.
And you can bang
And-
them all.
You can bang a lot of them.
Bonus. Like true facts.
Miranda, that ass. But, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, you have your tally.
Yeah.
But they're so great, and the final mission, what a gaming experience that was.
Yeah.
I will say I cheated and looked up who was perfect for each role because I didn't want anyone to die. Because I refused to let people die.
I mean, like if you sat down and think about it, it's kind of obvious who's perfect for each one.
Wasn't there like a bar or a meter that kind of fills up?
I screwed up once, and that's why I didn't put Jacob in the right position, and he died. So then I went back and looked it up.
It's like you need Jacob leading the second team or something.
Yeah.
yeah.
You need Tally in the tunnel, like to open up the.
I had
thing.
Jacob in the tunnel,
Then
and he
if
failed.
you have Samara as the
shield
the
holder.
shield,
Yeah.
That part was sick, by
Yeah.
the way.
and then you either send Miranda or Jacob back to lead people back to the ship.
Yeah.
I had Jacob open the tunnel, and he died. So then I immediately went back and looked up where he should go. And
I just did a
was like,
bunch of
no.
trial and error.
That would be the best for that, like Tally or Garrus.
Yeah. I just was like, yo, I trust you, bro. You got this. But I shouldn't have done that. But just like everything about it was so well done. And the side missions with each character and learning their backstory.
Yeah, going to every planet.
It was
like-
fantastic. And of course, my boy Garrus is still there
Mm-hmm.
as Archangel, and the only thing holding Mass Effect 2 back was they didn't have Rex. Grunt will never replace Rex, and I will die on this hill if anyone else
I
thinks
mean,
that
like,
Grunt
it
is
is-
cooler.
The popular hill to die on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Andre and I have this debate every time. He's a Grunt person, I'm Rex. But Mass Effect is one of the best RPGs I've played, and like the whole trilogy. And 2, just like I said, just the jump it took from 1, I think, is what makes me compelled to put that on my list.
Also,
over
the
3.
start of 2 was just like,
Yeah.
what just happened?
Yeah, you're literally flying and you get blown to shit.
Yeah, it's not even
Your
like a
ship
soft
it
blown
makes
to
you,
shit.
It makes you realize like you are not prepared for what is
No.
coming.
No,
not at
it's
all.
it's definitely tone setting.
Yep.
So that's cool. We all had Last of Us, and we all had a Mass Effect game, not the same one,
Uh-huh,
but
uh-huh.
All right.
we know good games.
So my next one. The last 10 years, a lot of games have come out. Some haven't hit on release, while some have faltered away to dust.
Okay.
Other games have
It
taken their
does.
time, and developers have stuck by it,
Yeah.
and now they are for the better. Got games like No Man's Sky. Got games like Ghost Recon Wildlands, like Rainbow Six Siege. The game on my list, the one that probably had the most shocking and severe turnaround, is Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn.
Damn.
Final Fantasy XIV originally released in 2010. Was
It was that long ago?
yeah,
Oh my
it was
god.
around for 2 years before the head developer said, "Fuck it, shut everything down."
My head out.
Shut everything down. They spent 2 years rebuilding the game to make it better. And 2014, Final Fantasy XIV: A Realm Reborn came out and is now not one of, if not the best MMORPG on the market. The game has had such a shocking turnaround. I think it laid the groundwork for developers to look at, hey, might have not hit and release, but if we stick by it, we can make it great. And I think that shows a lot of heart and a lot of belief in your game.
Yeah,
Like,
it does.
especially
Because it
for,
costs a lot to do that.
yeah, and a lot of belief from the publishers to do that. So I think I played a little bit of Final Fantasy XIV: Realm Reborn. I can really see the appeal of why people love this game. And from all I hear, like, people say like the story is phenomenal in this Final Fantasy game. People say it's one of the best Final Fantasy stories out there, especially for all the expansion stuff like that. And I'm like, people around this long and like for the game to completely relaunch after being shut down for 2 years is great. I think it really shows that if you just when you develop a game, if you just stick by it, like, it people might come back to it. Like, just
Yeah.
show that you can rebuild it and make it better. And we have seen that over like a few times over
Yeah,
this
we
past
have
10
actually,
years.
so-
And those games, like the ones I mentioned, are all thriving now. Like Rainbow
Yeah.
Six Siege, probably one of the best competitive FPS games on the market. No Man's Sky, complete bomb on release. But they, you know what, they shut their mouths up. A year later, the game's a lot better for it, and the game is now thriving in a much better spot. You know, all these games, like, you know, even with like Division, Destiny, they didn't launch the best. You know, a year in, much better. 2 years in, way better. Like, these games, you stick by them, and hopefully they get better. Which means I only hope and pray for Anthem, but that's a different story.
They are doing a similar thing
I
though with Anthem
hopefully,
2.0
yeah.
or
So I
Anthem
can only
Next. So
hope and pray that Anthem becomes the game I hope becomes. But yes, but for now, Final Fantasy XIV: Realm Reborn, I think, is on my list because it is the most severe turnaround of a game that came out and had to re-release to make it better.
and here we are in the start of 2020, and Final Fantasy 14 still
They
So
had
relevant.
still going.
they had their another expansion that came out at the same time around as Shadowkeep did for Destiny 2, and like it was called Shadowland or something like that. Like Shadowkeep, Shadowlands. No, Shadowlands is World of Warcraft. Shadowbringers, I think, was
something like that.
Final
yeah.
Fantasy 14. A lot of shadows going around, but like Final Fantasy 14 is on my list because it's had the best turnaround of all those games.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if this game counts. If it doesn't, it's an honorable mention.
Okay.
If it does, it's on my list.
Okay.
Minecraft.
It counts.
1.0.
Yes.
Nick and I-
1.0 came out 2011.
2011.
So, Minecraft is Minecraft. It's got to be a game of decade. I've put so many hours in this game. I've been playing this game since alpha. I've been modded servers. I've done everything there is to do in this game, like a bajillion times. And yet still, every time there's a new update, I'll be like, you know what? Fine, I'll try it out. I'll see what's new.
Yeah.
Why not? Let's make a new server again. Let's start playing again, guys. Let's play for 2 months. I don't know. It's just one of those games that, for whatever reason, just compels me to come back. And I don't know. Like I love to just kind of build something new every time I get it and just have a different experience every time I start working on like a serious life or something.
It's virtual Lego.
Yeah.
Endless possibilities and tons
Yeah.
of fun.
I don't know. And there's so many ways to play this game. There, like, besides just playing Minecraft, you can do things like there's like one of the first battle royales came out on Minecraft. It was called
Hunger Games.
yeah,
It was actually just called Hunger Games.
yeah, exactly. And then based off that, like so many other, like there's so many modes and that just like capture the flag. There's like so many mods, and this game is so expansive. It's such it's a teaching tool. It's so many things to so many people. I don't know. For me, it's special, so it's on my list.
and it is also going strong.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's either second highest selling or
It's
highest
the
selling.
highest
It passed
selling.
Tetris,
It's
right?
past
The single.
Tetris.
Yeah. So that's got to speak volumes. And this thing is on like every goddamn
Is-
device you can think of.
Yep.
It's crazy.
You know my Minecraft account. I didn't buy it. Some dude on Reddit bought it for me.
Huh,
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Damn.
Well, whoever that dude was, thank you.
11.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, straight up. 11 years ago or something, or whenever this game was in alpha, they were like $8 or something. And I was like, I posted something like, oh man, like this game looks sick or something. He's like, yo, check your PMs.
Damn.
He just sent me the game. I'm like,
What a
dude.
nice
The
dude.
internet still has nice people.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Notch in disguise.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Crazy.
Yeah.
Minecraft is
Minecraft is
it's
great.
definitely such a fun game.
Honestly, there's something so therapeutic about just branch mining to music. Tick, tick,
Yeah.
tick, tick. I don't know.
No, for sure. I've
Yeah.
gotten lost branch mining for hours before, just music in the background
Yeah.
and just digging. Even if you don't find anything,
No.
you had a good time.
Yeah.
You know? Alrighty. My next game is Fire Emblem Three Houses. I already talked about it, why it won my game of the year, so if you for whatever reason skip to this part, let's go back later on because it's reiterating everything, but just a fantastic game, and it had to make the list. It's just no RPG has really taken me
hmm
like that. Probably since Mass Effect 2 with the
Mhm.
characters. Like
Yeah.
like Mass Effect 2, these characters drive this game, and it's
That's what
so-
makes a
it's
good
Who
so
RPG,
knew
good,
huh?
having good characters made a good game?
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
Who would have thunk it? So I had to throw that on my list.
All right. My next game is an indie game developed by one dude in Stardew Valley. I don't think I've ever played an indie game to be so polished, to be so good, to just be so fun and charming, interactive, and so much to do. Made all by one dude. Much like Undertale is, but like
I never knew that about Stardew Valley. It's
Stardew
one
Valley.
guy. Damn.
the original version of the game, all one dude.
That's
one guy,
crazy.
Concerned Ape. I first saw this game and I'm like, this looks like Harvest Moon. I love Harvest Moon. And when I started playing it, I'm like, this is so many things better than Harvest Moon. It is obviously you get a farm and you grow crops and all that, but it's not just that. It's like you can go fishing, you can go exploring in the mines, you develop relationships with the people in town. You can choose to stay at the community center or destroy it for a Jojo Corp warehouse, or the hell it's called. And it's like,
Can you get married?
yeah, you get married.
Nice.
You get married, you have kids, you have a cat or a dog. It's like there's so many things you can do, and the game is endless. And the guy has added more and more over time. Now there's a multiplayer mode where like you and your friends or whoever else can go and build a farm together. Like the game is just it's just an all around amazing game. I think it's another must play of the past 10 years. It's absolutely phenomenal.
I actually
I am
did.
interested.
I picked it up on my Switch. I
Oh,
haven't
nice.
played it yet because I know it's a game that's gonna keep me into it for a while. But
It's so good.
I'm a
I
huge
think I'll
Harvest
be
Moon
starting
fan,
to.
so I
For
definitely gotta-
I
example-
never played Harvest Moon, so I
They're
feel like
pretty
I'm
fun.
missing out on something,
little
and I'm
bit.
excited to
Yeah.
jump into Stardew Valley.
For example, it's one of the very few first games I showed Ophelia. I showed her Minecraft first, and I showed her Stardew Valley, and she fell in love with Stardew Valley. The fact that she made a farm on my Switch, on my account, and she played through that. But then when she got her own, she bought the game herself. She has one main farm, and the other couple of files is just farms she wants to restart because she wants to start from the beginning again because she loves it so much.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's just the game is just it's so good. I recommend it highly to anybody else.
Okay. On to my next game. We have Halo 5 Guardians.
Oh.
I have this game on one of my top 10 games of the decade because after Halo Reach and Halo 4, some disappointing multiplayer. Don't get me wrong, Halo 5 story is kind of trash. But this game is on my list because it reinvigorated my hope for competitive Halo. Halo 5 Guardians has a bunch of problems too. It's not perfect by any means, but for the first time in like I don't know how long it's been, I had
Would have been
fun.
about a decade,
Yeah, true.
almost a decade at that point.
First time in 10 years, I guess. I felt that spark of hey, this game feels like Halo. It has something that no other games have, and it feels fun, and it feels like there's depth to it. There's skill involved. There's thinking involved. So yeah, simply for giving me hope, and I've put a ton of hours into this. I got really good at Halo 5. Really proud of that. And those skills like translate over when I went back to Reach, like picking up on that kind of thing. So that was fun. Yeah, it's a great game. I love talking Halo. I love talking shop about Halo with people who are into that. Just because I think Halo is a very nuanced game. Not a lot of people realize that, or at least I think that. And there's a lot of depth to it. So yeah, Halo 5 Guardians on my list.
Fantastic game. And to add to that, some of the best multiplayer that Halo's seen in a while.
Yeah,
For sure. You say what you want about the campaign. I'll be one of the first people to say that I was not happy with the direction it went, especially with the pretty much red herring they threw us before the game setting up for it. But that multiplayer is some of the best multiplayer Halo's had in a while, while also kind of reinventing Halo.
Yeah.
But still feeling like Halo.
Mhm.
They added a lot of new stuff, but it still felt like Halo. And
It leaves me excited to see where they go next.
yeah, it was still a very good game.
Because I feel like they have something. And if they can just refine it,
yeah.
get it out properly, it'll be
Hashtag remove sprint.
Sprint is debatable. I used to hate it a lot, but I realized like really it does nothing for the game. You can have it in or out, it doesn't really make a difference. It just
It does a little bit. The big difference is that you have bad teammates and
they can feed.
They can feed.
Yeah.
Literally, they can feed because they'll just
Yeah.
sprint it and keep
Yep.
dying. It's like, just stay back.
Yep.
They feed faster.
Yeah, it gives them.
The one thing I will say that is a downside of Sprint is that it makes a lot of the map becomes useless because you just sprint past it to get to the battle, and so you have to artificially expand the size of the maps to make them feel big, when really you're just sprinting through much of it.
That's true.
That's my issue with
Yeah.
sprint. The maps are artificially bigger because they need sprint to compensate for sprint.
So it's like you take out sprint, you don't necessarily have these big maps. That's true. Alrighty, my next game.
He has to call a week on show.
Yeah, so I brought
tell them about what you did.
I brought
Tell 'em about your
11 because I couldn't decide and I had to.
I-
Add it to your honorable mentions because I
I-
have a couple honorable
I brought
mentions.
10 like we were supposed to. And I
Okay.
was able to be cold hard and call the week.
Okay. The next one I will say, I also already mentioned, and that was my runner-up for Game of the Year as Celeste.
Damn.
This one was borderline to make my list, and because there's just been so many good games in this decade, but like I said, like Celeste it did everything that a game like that could do and more perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's such a fun, rewarding experience, and gotta be up there, if not there, as my favorite 2D platformer.
The thing I love about Celeste is the way it delivers its message. It's not ham-fisted. It's not cheesy. It's not corny. It's so real.
Yeah,
Like it doesn't make any assumptions about like the difficulties people are going through, or it doesn't assume certain things like or doesn't try to hide the fact that it's talking about a very like troubling subject for people. It just is very honest, it's very plain, and somehow it still manages to deliver a good story and a good message.
and
So-
that part of the game where Madeline has a panic attack, you have to control and help
Yeah.
her breathing and
Mhm.
relax her. It's so well done, and I can't give enough credit to the team behind it. Such a great game. So it made my list.
The Witcher 3 is on my top 10 of decade list.
Bro, have you played The Witcher 3?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Why?
Just wondering.
I said before. Anyways, The Witcher 3 is on my list because I look back through the decade. I don't think there's a singular game where paying $80 for it feels like a bargain. There's so much
True.
to that game that you feel like you could pay $120 for the normal edition of the game
Yeah.
and still feel like you got like good value for it. There is not only is it like a phenomenal game on its own, but like just like what you can do in it, like the scope of the game, how much you can do it, just like it's endless possibilities. I just feel like it's one of the best examples in a time of like riddle with microtransactions and bullshit DLC and all that. That Witcher 3 came out with like a breath of fresh air. Like this is what a video game is. You buy it, and this is what it is.
Mhm.
Not to mention the expansions are great too.
Yeah.
You posted that tweet
Yeah.
like a
About The
bajillion
Witcher.
people.
The
were
show
saying.
coming out on Netflix reignited a lot of hype around a 4-year-old game, and the Witcher 3 actually broke the records of most concurrent players on Steam. It was higher than when this game launched.
Yeah.
After finishing the show, my brother was like, "Yo, is this on Steam? Can I get it?" I'm
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, I have number 2." Right out.
The game, I haven't played it yet, but I do want to, and I've heard nothing but great things. And the show is awesome. I
Yeah.
will say I really
Show
am.
awesome.
Really
It makes me
enjoying
want
the
to
show.
play the game, and The Witcher 3 is on my list because I think it just has so much to offer for such a. Especially when you buy it on sale, like you are getting a
Mhm.
game that will last you several hundred hours. Like
You can get Game of the Year on the Steam sale. I don't know if the Steam sale's over today or not, but Game of the
But,
Year
like,
was
it's-
$20.
like the game is phenomenal.
So all DLC and
All DLC, everything. $20 Canadian.
20
might
bucks
need to
for,
pick
like,
that up.
to
Yeah.
400 hours of gameplay.
Hope it's still on.
I don't know if the sale ended today, but
Okay, might have.
yeah,
But like it's on my list for just the reason alone that like you get a lot of value for that game.
for sure.
Oh, my turn. Toss a
We still got-
coin to
you got-
your Witcher. All right.
Oh, Valley of Penis.
You ruin it with that lyric.
It's from the show
I know.
when
But-
she grabs his junk
Yeah.
while he's trying to sing.
Um,
Come on, get 2 more.
I got.
You said 9, right?
I've said 9.
Okay, I got to keep track because I have more than 10.
Okay.
Well, luckily I have 10 on my list.
And this was with me cheating too.
Okay, we have.
In this corner.
Okay, I want to mention the game that I cut out for this game.
Okay.
Okay. So,
Specifically, you cut out a game to fit this one in?
Yeah.
Okay.
so I got rid of Rise of the Tomb Raider to put in this game.
Ooh.
So Rise of the Tomb Raider is an honorable mention. I want to mention really quick because I think
Fantastic game.
it did everything the first Tomb Raider did, but like way better. Everything was super cool, and I haven't played the third one. I know it's out, so I'm looking forward to
On
that
Game
one.
Pass too.
True.
For console, not for.
Check it out.
I'm
Yeah.
Are you sure? For sure it's on PC too.
Oh, maybe
I
I'm
have
wrong.
to
then.
double check.
Yeah.
But
I still have that Game Pass code that Robert gave me that I haven't redeemed.
So if you ever want to save it to,
I have to
pull the
play
Xbox.
Ori. I have to play Gears 5. I have so many Game Pass games to play.
Right.
Anyway, so the game that is on my list, BioShock Infinite. Because the story was great. Man, I'm a sucker for
female characters.
who need my help. I don't know. It's just something about me. I'm a weird guy, okay? I can't.
White Knight syndrome.
Sure, that's what it is. You're 100% right. Yeah, I need to start being an asshole. So,
How dare you be so nice, Shamik? What's wrong with you?
yeah, I just want to
Like,
be honest. I want to be honest with you
You
guys.
can't tell from the way you write your D&D characters.
Sure, I guess I comes through on that.
Yeah.
It's okay. Hey,
You're a guy with a big heart.
I'm
Nothing
working
wrong with that.
I'm working
Okay,
on
we
it.
love you, Shamek.
I'm working on being a dick. Don't worry. Anyways, as you will find out on Sunday or Saturday. Anyways, so BioShock Infinite, one of the coolest games. It had a really cool. The gunplay is awesome. Like it's way better than BioShock 1 and 2. In my opinion. Anyways, it's a very much faster game, and very action packed and very like run and gun. A lot of big set pieces that are going on. You're going down like huge elevators and shooting things. And yeah, the story was the thing that got me. Just seeing like this helpless person and trying to help them out over the course of the game, and then finding out their story, and then the whole thing with Songbird, and like she's got a dark past, and she's got hidden powers, and I don't know. She was a really compelling character, Elizabeth, and she
Booker
drove much of the-
catch.
she drove much of the game for me. Lovable. So yeah, BioShock Infinite, great game,
Alrighty.
and the ending is just when everything comes together and
The ending is sick.
blows my mind.
Yeah, the
So,
ending is amazing. Okay. So hard, but I've.
You got to pick.
So my 9th game on my list is Call of Duty Black Ops.
The original Black Ops.
The original Black Ops.
Woo! It's funny because we were
And-
talking about it. at your
Yeah,
place
when we were
earlier.
talking about it. And this game just made it in. And, you know, there's always a joke that Call of Duties get pumped out every year and they're, you know, they're the run of the mill, the same thing, whatever. But I think Black Ops Call of Duty's got campaign, it's got its cooperative experience, and it has its multiplayer. And almost every Call of Duty has this. And I think Black Ops is one of the few CODs that aced all three in one game. Because you have a lot of games where you go, that game had a great campaign, multiplayer wasn't really the best, or it's or vice versa. But Black Ops literally hit it on all three.
Yep.
Yeah.
It had one of the best multiplayers any COD has ever had, both in balance and fun. It had one of the best, by far, campaigns with such compelling characters, both Reznov and I'm blanking on the main character's name for some reason. Mason.
Mason.
Holy crap! I'm
What
talking
are the
about how I love this
numbers,
game.
Mason?
Yeah. And Woods, with a really cool twist to it, and it is still to this day the best iteration of zombies in my opinion.
Yeah.
World at War started zombies in a very simplistic manner.
World at War is like classic zombies.
Yeah,
You
it
can't.
expanded on it a little bit in the DLCs.
Yeah.
Black Ops took that expansion and made zombies
Like a thing.
a thing,
Yeah.
a mainstay thing that solidified why this belongs with Black Ops games or Call of Duty games going forward. And in the DLC, some of the DLC maps they created, especially Ascension, the moon one, fantastic work in both survival, in adding perks, the perk system, in adding like mechanics you can do on the map to change how the map works. Like in the moon one, you can launch 3 different satellites or something to activate stuff. Just there's so many ways to play these maps, and they expanded it to be more of a free roaming thing. And I think that with Black Ops 2 and 3, they just kind of they try to do too much in zombies, and I found them to be a little overcomplicated in a way. Like there was almost too much going on, and it kind of lost a little bit of what I loved about zombies. But Black Ops, I played. Is it Keener to Toten?
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the best maps.
Freaking much. Yeah. Literally one of the best cooperative experiences in like a survival thing ever.
Hell yeah.
It is just so damn fun.
Yep.
I love getting the Easter egg to play the song.
Yes.
That was great. I always did that no matter what.
Oh yeah, you got to go. And then on the one where you're in the Pentagon, you grab all the phones to play. Was it Eminem?
I think so.
Yeah, the Eminem song. I think. But yeah, it was just it hit all 3 check marks, and I don't think a Call of Duty since then has done that for me.
Yeah, I was saying back Airplay, so I'm like, Call of Duty Black Ops is the best Call of Duty of the decade.
Yeah.
Like,
well, as soon as you said that, because it was on my list of
Yeah.
like ones to add on, I was like, shit, he's on to me.
Yeah, like Black Ops says the best Call of Duty in the past 10 years. Like the most recent Modern Warfare was great, but like it was, I think it was just fine. You know,
I heard it was like a sanitized version of Black Ops. It didn't really have any character. Or sorry, Call of Duty didn't really have any character. Did you get that feeling?
somewhat like
Okay.
the multiplayer was good, but like it didn't feel great.
Okay.
And then one more what was the one more World War II?
Before what?
Modern Warfare.
Warfare 1 was
Like
the newest one.
yeah.
Yeah, World War 2. No,
was it Black Ops 4?
Black Ops 4.
Black Ops 4.
Yes.
Just I don't know, had no campaign, which like fine, whatever. Like
That bothered me.
Right.
I'm a sucker for the COD
I
campaigns.
didn't-
They're good. They're fun.
They
I
are
didn't
good.
enjoy Call of Duty does not work with like a hero shooter. Like it just doesn't work. In my opinion, like the
I
whole
agree.
ultimate ability and like picking
Yep.
your character, like no, it doesn't work in my opinion.
No.
I didn't like Black Ops 3 and Advanced Warfare's like advanced movement. I didn't feel like it did any good job of doing it at all. And then the games before that, like it just didn't feel great. Like I haven't played Infinite Warfare. Like this one I haven't touched, but
Mhm.
Ghost was just it should just be a Ghost.
Ghost was decent at best.
Black Ops 2 just couldn't recreate it, and then Modern Warfare 3 is just a huge pile of trash. So Black Ops 1 is, I think, the best Call of Duty of the past 10 years.
The
hands
last
down.
great
Yeah, the last
Call of
like,
Duty.
actually good one on all accounts.
Yeah.
Fair
And
enough.
It was tough. Like I said, Call of Duty, everyone thinks, oh, whatever. But I had to put it on its list because I played that game so fucking much. Ethan and I would play it like before school or after school all the time. I'd play with Nick. Like
Everybody played that.
everyone was on COD. Like it was COD. Those years from 2007 to like 2010 when Black Ops and World at War and stuff were out, Halo has been and always probably will be my favorite shooter. But those COD games in those couple years were so fun that it split my time. it took me away
Yeah.
from my favorite shooter to play
Yeah,
it.
I
And that speaks volumes.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I freaking love Halo, and that was
Yeah.
Halo 3, like
Yeah.
the golden age
yeah,
of Halo,
yeah.
and it pulled me away
Mhm.
because COD was so
I
engaging.
remember playing like game battles in COD 4.
Yeah,
That was some
You played
hell-
game
like,
battles?
Yeah.
it brought competitive
Did you
out
play
of us.
Evercade?
Yeah,
Whoa, that's
It
good.
was
I
like,
was on
it
game
like me,
battles.
Brad, Brendan Yoshida,
Sure, yeah.
his cousin
he was a
Brad.
his
competitor,
cousin
right?
Bradley, who was a beast at COD.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was
He,
phenomenal.
like this guy had like a 2.0 KDA or KD in like every
And some
COD.
other, I can't remember the other people. Like, it was Call of Duty 4 was great, and then playing Black Ops 1 was just phenomenal because it just felt great to play, and the
Yeah.
maps were good too.
Yeah,
Think about another thing about FPS games, like if you like, especially that multiplayer games, if your maps are bad, like
Yeah,
no
that's
matter how
huge.
good your game is,
Yep.
if your maps suck, it's gonna hold it
that's
back.
that's what I don't like most of new Modern Warfare. The maps just don't work.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't
That's my
like-
complaint with Halo 5.
There's a lot of art in designing a well played map around the gameplay that the
Yep.
game is.
Yep.
So yeah.
What's your last game?
All
So,
right,
my
10 out of 10, boys.
My last game of the decade, the best of the decade. This one is not only a personal favorite of mine, but I think sets the absolute standard of the genre,
Okay.
Damn.
and it's Titanfall 2.
Okay, it did make your
Hey.
list. All right.
Titanfall 2, our talking about Call of Duty being the best Call of Duty in the past decade.
Yeah.
Titanfall 2 is, in my opinion, hands down the best first-person shooter to come out like ever.
Damn.
It is
That is a huge statement.
Yeah.
that it Titanfall 2 hits on gameplay, like gunplay, hits on movement. The actual Titans are great.
Yeah.
The multiplayer is great. The maps are awesome. The campaign's awesome. Like, this game came out at such a stupid period. Like, why would you release between Call of Duty and Battlefield? I have no idea why. And I feel like if it released either earlier or later, people would have realized, like, holy shit, Titanfall 2 is actually phenomenal. Like, I don't think, in my opinion, no other game beats out how well this game actually plays, and that's why I say it's the best first-person shooter to ever come out, especially in the past 10 years. Like, it's absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Titanfall 2 is fantastic, and one of the mechanics you get to do in the campaign was some of the most fun I've ever had. I don't want to spoil it, but you know exactly what I'm
Titanfall
talking
2 is
about.
phenomenal. I can only hope that if they are developing Titanfall 3 Respawn, now they got their hands tied on Apex Legends and possibly a Fallen Order
Mhm,
sequel.
mhm.
But I hope Titanfall 3 just replicates or improves on Titanfall 2, because Titanfall 2 is phenomenal.
I only played Titanfall 1 and I had a blast playing that. So,
It's made by the guys who made COD 4.
yeah.
So, like, you know,
And
It's going to
Modern
be
Warfare
good.
2.
yeah, so you know you're
Yeah.
getting a quality product, and it definitely was a quality product. I just wish that it got the recognition and respect it deserves.
Yeah.
And that is my top 10 of the decade list.
Top 10. 1 down, 2 to go.
2 left.
You ready for my
I'm
last
ready.
game?
I think I know what it is.
My last top or game of the decade is DayZ.
There it is. We
DayZ
knew it was coming.
Yeah.
is one of
Like Thanos, it was inevitable.
my favorite games of all time.
So is Iron Man.
I have hundreds of hours in the standalone. I've got probably close to 1,000 hours in mods, in the various Arma 3 mods, Arma 2 mods.
Which is how it started, right?
Sure, yeah. I've played a bunch of DayZ, is what I'm trying to say. I have a bunch of hours with Ethan. Every time I play with Ethan, it's a blast. Like, sometimes it's frustrating because the game doesn't work, and there's like the game isn't perfect. It's not mechanically perfect. There's glitches. There's problems with servers. There's like a bunch of like issues that surround the game that really sometimes make it sucky to play. But when you get into the game, for me, when you get into the woods and it's just you and it's just you and a buddy and you're just scrounging for food or looking for a car, or looking for parts for a vehicle, and you're just doing your own thing, and all of a sudden you see players, or there's an encounter, and your heart just starts going a million miles a minute from 0 to 100 just like that. There's nothing in gaming that replicates that for me, and I love it. So for that reason, DayZ's on my list.
I have played that game a little bit with both of you,
Yeah.
and I will say that, you know, I definitely felt defeated by some of the technical issues, but every time I saw a player, my heart was going.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and it's very few games that get
Yeah.
my heart going like that, but definitely that game has that factor, especially after like 40 minutes of exploring, you're kitted, and then you see somebody and you're just like, it's on, holy
Mhm.
shit, and you're
Mhm.
just like,
Yep.
It's few games get that kind of adrenaline rush out of me, and DayZ, like you said, despite all the issues, still manages to do that.
Plus,
So,
it has such a great element of like survival. I really like the kind of DayZ that is more survival based. There's a lot of like DayZ servers out there which are just like spawn you on the coast with a weapon, which is fun. Nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that. Like even me and Ethan sometimes we'll just go because we're bored. We have nothing really to do, so we'll just go try to find fights.
yeah,
You know. But what I like is like setting like farming and like putting seeds down and setting up like your own survival and hunting animals in the woods and stuff like that and
yeah,
making sure you're protected from the elements. So I know it's not perfect and I know it might never be great or like what I want it to be, but it has been really special to me. And that's why it's on my list.
all right. My last one,
Why are you smiling like you're smirking?
because I did it. I cut them out. I got to
Alright,
10.
Finally, good.
My last one, and it was not easy because there are so many games I had to cut, is Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
I
What?
knew it'd be that one.
Whoa.
It was
Okay.
tough, but Assassin's Creed Black Flag is such a damn fun game. I really really wanted to put Brotherhood on
Yeah.
because I love Brotherhood,
Mhm.
but Black Flag let me live out the pirate fantasy.
Yeah.
The best any game has done.
Not Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah. Well, the title says so, so suck it. But it is the best pirate game to date. Even now, even in 2020, no game has been able to replicate
Yep.
how good it felt to sail the seas, command a crew, sing your shanties, take down ships, loot them,
Yep.
upgrade your ship, go to any island in the map is huge, and you can go to any piece of land and explore it. There are treasure maps that have hidden treasures. You can go to shipwrecks and try and avoid sharks as you're looting the crashed ships from previous sailors. All still with a pretty compelling origin story to how the Kenway family became assassins, starting with Edward, who was Connor's grandfather, and just learning about how, they got pulled into this, how a pirate who, you see, like, you've got Ezio's story, who
Kind of like born into it.
born into it, and
Yeah.
he's, a good deed citizen who's there to, he's a very good person. Altair, very respectable by the code, good
Mhm,
person.
mhm.
And you've got Edward Kenway, who's a pirate. I don't know if many people know pirates aren't good people.
No, they're not.
Pirates are assholes who are
Yeah.
in it for themselves. And even through this, you see the struggle of him knowing what's good, but still wanting just to look out for himself and get that paycheck, because at the end of the day, he's still a pirate. And I know a lot of people don't like his character because of that, because he's not a true assassin. But I think that there's no such thing as a true assassin. People find the code from all sorts, all
Yeah.
walks of life. And I think it's nice to see a character find it and still kind of fight with who they are as a person and whether this life is for them. And I think there was a very good way of doing that with a cool story regarding the sages.
Yeah.
And just have gone back to that game after beating it, just because I want to sail around and shoot ships down.
Yeah. It's like, well, for Edward not being a true assassin, like Ezio was not a true assassin to begin with. Like his family was born into it, but like he was never into it. He had to fall into it. Like,
Yeah.
because his family was killed, right? All his father and brothers were killed while
Yeah.
his mother and sister got away. With Connor, he was a Native American whose village was destroyed by, was it Charles Lee?
Yeah.
What was it? Charles
Charles
Lee! And he just happened to end up on this guy's doorstep who used to be an assassin, right? And he was in it for revenge, Connor.
Yeah.
And then you got guys like the main character in Unity who never truly believed in the code, but kind of like joined it because he had to,
Yeah.
right? And his love of his life was a Templar,
Yeah.
like kind of
The
Romeo and Juliet
style.
kind
Yeah.
of thing, right? And you got the new ones with like Syndicate, like the brother and sister who like were assassins, but like one was very by the books and the other was like, I want to make a gang.
Yeah.
So like, other than Altair, or Ezio later on in his life, you never really had a true by the books assassin. Like,
Yeah.
it's always these characters who had their flaws, their own ideals, but they were part of the Assassin's Creed and were part of that code and lived to as best they could, even though like they had their own ideals. Like Edward, basically, like reason why I became an assassin was by accident.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
Yeah.
it was literally an accident or fate, if you want to
Yeah.
say. But he
Well-
didn't sign up for it, and I loved that it wasn't just like, oh, I'm going to join the assassins, I'm going to be good now. There was the struggle throughout the whole campaign about whether he would stay true to his pirate code or join the assassin code.
Yeah.
And I knew I wanted to get an Assassin's Creed game on this list. I've had a lot of fun with many of them, and I Brotherhood was up there, and even Origins when I played this year, fantastic game, and such a nice re-entry into the series. But I had to give credit where credit's due, and that's Black Flag.
And that, folks, is our top 10 of the decade. And
Did you have honorable mentions, or was
I
Rise?
Did have honorable mentions.
I don't have any honorable mentions.
I have
Um,
one.
I have one as well. Well, I mentioned Soul Silver already.
Yeah,
Portal 2.
I'm surprised you didn't put that on your list.
Portal 2, if I can talk about it really quickly, is probably the best puzzle game I've ever played. That's it. Straight up, it's just the best puzzler that you can play probably ever, I think, objectively.
Okay.
It's an opinion, but I'm just going to say that anyways.
Yeah.
Voice acting's great, music's great, story's great. It's a hilarious game. It's funny. It makes sometimes you have to stop and think and like go like duh, obviously, and sometimes you're just laughing and sometimes you're like, oh shit, no, please. So and it's just a fun puzzle game. It's a great game.
And I need to beat it.
You do.
My honorable mention, and just a couple more months and this game could have made the list, and I'm so mad about it, is League of Legends.
Sure, yeah.
This
Yeah.
game did not make the list.
I'm actually sad it's
because
not
it
on
came
that,
out in either September or October of 2009.
Yeah.
So obeying the rules, it could not be put on this list. But there is no game, and I'm not exaggerating, there's no game I have put more hours into in my entire life.
I think
than
I'm
League
the
of
same.
Legends.
Yeah.
I have played this game since I believe 2013. It is the end of 2019.
Since
We were
season
just
3.
Yeah, since season 3, halfway point, when I was at dinner with a few of the guys and they were talking about the All-Star event, and I was like, you know what, I'll try this game,
I forget how I started playing.
and I haven't looked back.
No.
It's all
There
a
have
blur.
I think the longest time I've gone without playing League is like a month.
Sure.
Since
Yeah.
season 3.
Yeah.
I always come back to this game. I'm always playing it. I'm playing single player games. I want a break. Where do I go to?
Yeah.
Yo, guys, want to play a quick game of League? There were days when, for a year, where I would literally go to work, come home, hop on League until I was going to bed.
Mm-hmm.
There were some days where I would play League 10 hours straight,
Sure.
Yeah.
and it is a multiplayer only game.
Yeah.
And I just, through updates, through addition of new
Good game
champions,
modes, the worst
through-
game mode
yeah.
currently.
Shut your mouth. Through new game modes, through cooperative events that they've had, such as Odyssey and stuff, this game has managed to stay fresh
Yeah.
and so fun.
Odyssey was a lot of fun.
And I love the lore around it, and I'm so happy
Yeah.
that Riot's expanding to different genres of
Mhm.
games with this lore that they've built.
Yep.
And it is one of the best multiplayer games I've ever played, and I can't stop playing it.
Yeah.
And I cannot deny how good this game is if it has hooked me for 6-7 years straight. I can't deny that.
Yep.
So this game throughout the decade has my most logged hours, but I couldn't put it on the list simply because it came out 2 months too early.
Okay, actually, you have an honorable mention. It's not a video game per se, but it's a game.
Okay.
Dungeons and Dragons.
True.
True.
I want to thank this man here for getting me into it. It is, I don't know, just some of the most fun I've had playing a tabletop game ever. Dungeons and Dragons. It's just so much fun to be engrossed in a world created by someone, whether it be yours or a dumb one shot I make that I try to
Hey, they're fun. They're not
kill
dumb.
you guys with.
I enjoyed it, and I'm not even a D&D player, so I think
So
you
I
did a great
just-
job.
I know I was hesitant and very against the fact of
You were flip floppy. You were like,
So-
yeah, and then you were like, no.
playing it, but then actually sitting down doing it, starting off with just Sean as a DM, and then Robert and Cameron as my 2 party members, and now growing to Sean was the DM, but along with me, Cameron and Robert, we got Nevin, Mackenzie, and Matthew. I think that's it, right? Yeah, it's everybody. And it's just so much fun to get together, every month or so, and kind of just go out for a few hours and see where our chaos brings us. I'm excited for this Saturday to play.
Yeah, it's gonna be really good. This Saturday.
We'll have everybody.
Yeah.
It'll be
It's gonna
great.
be awesome. It's gonna be a good game.
There are so many damn good games I couldn't put on this list.
There's so many.
Doom, Skyrim.
Yeah.
The other Assassin's Creeds I didn't put
Yeah.
on. Halo Reach I even was considering at one point. Like, it's crazy how many good games we had, and I'm looking
Yep.
forward to another decade of fantastic games.
Yep. I will say I did find, and maybe this is just because I didn't play more games towards the end of the decade, but I found for me a lot of the games that I had to cut out came from early on in the decade. Did you guys find the same, or did you guys find that?
No, I had.
Okay.
I'll tell you what I had to cut out before I made my final list.
Sure.
So, I cut out Black Ops 1.
Oh, so you had it too.
Yeah.
Nice.
I cut out Fallout New Vegas, and I cut out God of War.
Mm.
Three Houses was never.
No, never considered.
Damn.
My game of the year, but I don't consider game
Yeah.
of the decade because the way I did my list.
That's fair. That's fair.
If it was like my top 10 games of the decade, it'd probably be on my list. But
Yeah.
just the way I did
That's
my
fair.
list.
It was tough.
To think that, yeah, it was tough. And I think that 2020 is gonna start with such bangers.
Yeah. So, with that in mind, 2020's already got a crazy lineup and so many games that have been announced to come out.
Like in the first few months alone, we got Cyberpunk,
Yeah.
Animal Crossing,
Fallout 7 or Final Fantasy,
Final Fantasy
7 remake.
We got Last of Us 2 as well.
Yeah.
Like there are.
Pretty good games.
It's coming in hot.
You want to know my most anticipated game of 2020?
I
I
do.
got top 3.
You got a top 3.
Okay.
Okay, Nick.
Fine. Do you want me to start? Or you want to go?
If you guys want to go, I can go.
He
last.
started with that, so let's do you this time.
Okay. Halo Infinite.
That's your top one?
Yes,
For me, I was like, it's either Halo Infinite or it's Cyberpunk. Which one is Shamak going to
it's
pick?
Halo Infinite.
Over
Yeah,
Cyberpunk.
because it's Halo, so
Yeah, fair
it
enough.
has to be.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk is new. I don't know what it is, but I'm invested in Halo. I need to see how this ends. For good or the bad,
Yeah.
whatever it is. I'm gonna play a ton of it. I'm probably gonna try to get really good at it, and probably I'm gonna get really good at it. So we'll see what happens. Looking forward to it.
All right. I will go next. We'll leave your top 3 as a
Cyberpunk is my second.
Okay.
My second.
So there are many good games coming out, and I cannot wait for them. Last of Us 2 is probably my second most anticipated.
True.
But the one game that's got to beat them all is Halo Infinite. Halo has been a part of my life since the original Halo. I have played all of these games, every game in the franchise, from the mainline games to the Halo Wars games. Hell, I even played one
True.
of the friggin' mobile games, Mobile Assault or whatever
Spartan
the hell it
Assault.
is.
Yeah.
Spartan Assault. Not that great, but I played it. I've read the books.
Yep.
I love the books.
Yep.
Halo is one of, if not my favorite franchise in video games. And like Shamak said, it's been rocky, but for better or for worse, I'm part of Halo.
Yeah.
And I cannot wait to see what they do with Infinite. There's a lot of hope with the new engine and everything that we're gonna,
Mhm.
we're gonna see a fantastic game. And Halo 5, it faltered a couple times, but it also made
Sure.
great
It did,
strides
yeah.
for the franchise. And as long as 343 can see where they missed and where they hit, I think they can come out with
I think they
one
can
of,
too.
if not the best Halo yet. And I am nothing but optimistic for this game, and I cannot wait to get my hands on it because it is all I will be playing.
I agree.
So my top 3 in no specific order.
Okay.
Animal Crossing. It's
Okay.
been a long time since we had a good Animal Crossing game.
Yeah.
And
This one looks really promising.
You're a big Animal Crossing fan?
fuck yeah, bud.
Okay.
Dude, the original
Okay.
GameCube one was so dope.
I played that one GameCube for like ages.
Okay.
Like it was so good. Second, one of my other ones, Dying Light 2.
Oh yeah.
Really?
That
the
game's gonna be
Dying Light
sick.
1,
Producers giving us thumbs
Yeah,
up.
when I
Yep.
first played the first one, I heard it was good, but when I sat down and played it, I didn't realize how good it would be. And the second one just expanding on it, and like, I can't wait for that. And then my first most anticipated, probably Halo. Yeah, Halo. I'm
We're Halo players, true,
like,
true.
I expect like games like Cyberpunk to be great, like Last of Us 2 to be great, and
Final
like,
Fantasy 7.
Final Fantasy 7 is supposed to be Final Fantasy 7, like
Yeah.
whatever half the game they're doing, right? But Halo Infinite to me I'm anticipated for it because it's a mystery.
Yeah.
It's a mystery of like, is this the game where 343 finally hits their stride?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or is this the game where we see that 343
Can't do
just
it.
can't
Yeah.
do
It
it,
just can't live up to what Bungie left behind.
or just can't handle making Halo games?
Mhm. Mhm.
So yeah, I think is that it?
It'd be a good
I
year.
think that's
It's been
it.
a great decade.
I
Appre-
would- it- yeah, it
appreciated
has.
the past,
Yeah.
It has.
and looking forward to the future.
I want to say I'm excited for VR tech,
Yep.
AR, all the new tech that's coming out. I'm
A lot can change in the next 10
Mhm.
years in that front, for
I'm
sure.
a big tech junkie, so hit me with all what you got. So
Yeah. And
excited.
even though producer Ethan was not on the show, shoutouts to Red Dead Redemption 2 and Red Dead Redemption 1 because those are some of his favorite games. And to be honest, Red Dead Redemption 1 was close to making my list as well. I haven't played 2 yet, so I can't, but
Breath of the Wild might have made his list. Who knows?
probably for sure.
Probably both Zelda games.
It'd probably be like half Zelda, half Red Dead, and Dying Light.
And I think that does it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all,
Thanks
folks.
for listening to us talk about games for a long time.
Mhm.
And to all of you, Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year,
Happy New Year.
2020.
Merry holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Chinese New Year.
That's not yet.
That's not yet. Merry Ukrainian Christmas.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, it's a thing. January 6th.
Okay. Did not know that. Cool.
Happy all holidays,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Three Can Play podcast. Special little featurette we've got going on today. With that, you can catch us on Instagram and Twitter at
3 Can Play Podcast.
3 Can Play podcast.
That's it.
With much peace and love, it's been myself, Nick, Brad, and Ethan. 3 Can Play out.